Hello, good morning, and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I don't have a check mic right now, but hopefully you can hear me okay. So, I used to do true crime and got out of it, I want to say about 3 years ago, 2.5, something like that. And it's came to my attention with this gentleman named Wade Wilson. And, he seems to be all over the YouTube streets. He seems to be everywhere. And I didn't think much about it because I don't watch true crime anymore. Because, it just started really getting to me. So, what I decided to do was just take a little gander and see what was going on with this Wade Wilson. Why is this case, going so viral, and what is really going on here? Because the last time I had checked was the guy had confessed. He was arrested. Everything was, pretty much laid out. And then the next thing I know, we got a whole complete story that was like it was written out of a fiction book, right? Like it was a book written. Good morning, MGA. How are you, honey? And so today we're going to put our investigative skills on because we're going to do a deep dive into this. We're going to listen to some calls. We're going to listen to how we got here, what happened. We have to also be very, I want to be very sincere about the victims in this case, because there are two beautiful women that are victims. And, this is, I want to stress that not only am I going to be talking about this case, but I'm also going to be talking about another case in the next few days that I knew a person personally that just went to prison for killing his girlfriend. And let me tell you, when I say I know him personally, like he was one of my buddies. Like I actually did a video in his kitchen in 2018. That's how close I was. I would go party with him around the campfire, hang out with him, like talk to him. He was like my buddy. But my buddy ended up being a murderer. Okay? Now, the reason I first got into true crime was because my cousin's husband was, it's so weird how he's still missing to this day, right? He's still missing. And it's been since 1995. He never came home from going to get weed from his own sister's house. So my own cousin's husband has been missing since 1995. Do we have leads and things of what occurred? And yeah, but it's just leads and things of what occurred. Nobody's ever been to prison. Nobody's ever been found. And this is my family member. Lola, yes, I have to come out of retirement. I have to, because this case, I haven't even been looking at any cases. Like I've been staying away from it. Good morning, my Gracie. Hello, silly wabbit. I had to come out of retirement because I have to point out some things here. And I know that, like with Ernie, master manipulation is going to be the key here. But I also want all of you to use your own judgment, okay? I'm not going to put nothing in your head. I want you, by what I show you, what we go through, to use your very own gut instinct, your very own judgment as to what do you think actually happened, okay? Now, all of us love, good suspense and drama, and we love a good thriller, right? But we don't love it when there's innocent people involved, right? That's the bad part, is that we have to remember that the victims in this case were people. Okay. Hello, beautiful raindrop. How are you? I love you. You are beautiful. So I want to just continue to, I don't know what the echo is. I don't know. I took it off. Is that better? No, that's more of an echo. It has all these different signs. I don't know. Hello? Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? Now you can't hear me at all. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Nobody? I know you're my perfect sound guy. I don't know what's going on. I've been changing it around, and I did something, I think. I did something. Is it better now? If it's better, if you can hear me clearly, please put a 5 in the chat. Please put a 5, because I can hear me, but I can't hear me. It's strange. Is the echo gone? Because see, it's got like, I apologize for having to go off on this tangent, but the soundboard has about 5 different things that you can change your voice. And I don't like the echo, but that was the one that's called like as if you're in the studio, professional. It's a little bit. What should I do to make it? Because I don't have any of the echoes on at all. I went to original mode. Is that better? I want to make sure that you can all hear what I'm saying, so it's not being misinterpreted. Hey, Fancy. Hello, beautiful. I want to make sure that this is not being misinterpreted at what I'm trying to say. Okay. As long as you can hear me, we're good. Okay, so before we start anything, we've got to start my intro. And I don't have anything on. No echo, no reverb, no back stuff. I don't have nothing on. Yeah, I don't have nothing on. Okay, I apologize. I don't know. I hope this works. I know Mr. Nobody is awesome at doing voice checks and stuff. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. It's better than it was. Okay. I think it went on a wrap, because when I did original, it shut it off. You can do dodge, where that means you talk over the video. I don't know. I have to figure it out. But just know that I'm not perfect. Okay. We over here, Betty is the crazy Betty. Okay. So nothing over here is going to be perfect. It's just going to be laid out raw. Okay. I do have to however, be careful how I speak, because we do have people that are hurting right now. Okay. It's not, none of this, we might laugh at a few things that this guy does, but we have to also remember that we have 2 victims here that lost their lives due to someone that decided to take their life. And they will, they will be forever missed by their family. The one lady, Diane, I believe she had 2 children. So that will be forever, with her children. And that's why this is why I'm not making light of this. This is why it made me get on this case, is because from what I just listening last night while my stomach was killing me so bad. By the way, I almost went to the hospital. It's still hurting today. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So they may just hospitalize me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me, guys. I'm just telling you that something's not right. It's radiating into my back and everything. I don't know. And I'm a person that can take pain. All right. So anyway, what made me get into this case was I thought, well, I want to just know a little bit about this case. What's going on? I started from the beginning, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get into this. He's got a petition on the internet not to get the death penalty. It's like 3K plus. Okay. Yes. He also has a fandom group where 400 women believe that in his innocence. He also changed his story to, and I want to reiterate this, and this goes with how Ernie is, okay? This man reads a lot of books, and in some of these jail calls, you're going to listen at how many books he reads, how much he has read, what he does as far as that goes. To where now this whole story has turned into a fiction novel. Okay? He already wrote the book now. I thought to myself, you've already wrote the book the way you now want it to be, where you're the superhero, okay? But so you don't need to write a book. You know, you wrote the book now. The book's already written, you know, you already got that out. And now that's what we're supposed to be going off of, is your fiction book, you know. Oh, Lola, let me see. Homeless man found yesterday in woods in our area. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, that's horrible. And that was found in your wood area? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, I'm sending healing prayers to you, honey, because I know what it feels like to have that pain all over you. Okay, so let's first of all, I want to go into the women, the victims in this case, because first and foremost, they're the ones that are gone forever. Okay, so I'm just going to read a little excerpt real quick. Wade Wilson, the Florida man found guilty of killing 2 Cape Coral women, is due in court in August for sentencing in the case. On June 12th, Wilson, 30 years old, was found guilty of the 2019 redrums of Kristine Melton, 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43. The jury recommended the death penalty for each of the murders on June 25th. But it will be up to trial judge Nicholas Thompson to impose it during sentencing. Sentencing was scheduled for Tuesday, July 23rd, but on Wednesday, Wilson's attorneys filed a motion for a delay over scheduling conflicts for 2 court-appointed mental health experts expected to testify during the proceedings. The judge delayed sentencing on Friday to August 27th. So today is August the 19th, so we have until about another 2 weeks. Wilson's legal team also filed a motion on July 3rd asking for a new trial or acquittal on the murder and several other charges. Thompson has not yet ruled on either motion. Here's what we know about Wade Wilson's crimes, victims, and upcoming sentencing. Wilson, then 25 years old, met Kristine Melton, 35, and her friend Stephanie Sailors on October 7, 2019 at Buddha Live at a Fort Myers bar. After the bar closed, Wilson and the 2 women went to the home of Jason Shepard, where they stayed for several hours before leaving in the morning. Wilson, Melton, and Sailors then went to Melton's Cape Coral home. After Sailors left, Wilson strangled Melton to death as she slept in her bed and stole her car. A short time later, Wilson saw 43-year-old Diane Ruiz walking along Cape Coral Street, asked for directions to a nearby school, and lured her into the car. When Ruiz tried to exit the car, Wilson attacked her, beating and strangling her before pushing her out of the car and running over her 10 to 20 times. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just think about that for a moment. 10 to 20 times. One wasn't enough, okay? 10 to 20 times. And accordingly, when he choked her, she was still alive, according to him. And then that's when he ran her over. So she was still alive when he ran her over. After the murders, Wilson called his biological father, Stephen. several times confessing to and narrating the gruesome details of his crimes. Stephen contacted police and Wilson was arrested October the 8th, 2019. So this right here is Kristine Melton. She was murdered October 7th, 2019 by Wade Wilson. She grew up in Illinois and moved with a friend to Cape Coral, where she worked as a waitress. She reportedly was a godmother to her cousin Samantha Cattamore's child, owned a cat, and lived in Cape Coral duplex. Melton loved to dress up, and her favorite holiday was Halloween. Cattamore testified during Wilson's trial. Melton had a quick wit. Maybe everyone around her felt safe and understood and was precious, not just to me, but to everyone who knew her, Cattamore said. Melton was 35 years old when she met Wilson at the Buddha Live, a Fort Myers bar. After leaving the bar and spending several hours at the home of Jason Shepard, Melton, Sailors, and Wilson went to Melton's duplex. After Sailors left, Wilson strangled her to death in her sleep. This lady is Diane Ruiz, 43, a mother and engaged to be married, was described as caring and hardworking. She was a bartender at the Moose Lodge in Cape Coral and never missed a shift in 5 years. Ruiz was walking to work for her 10 a.m. shift when she encountered Wilson. A short time after killing Melton, Wilson saw Ruiz walking alone at Cape Coral Street and lured her into the car after asking her for directions. When she tried to leave, Wilson beat and strangled Ruiz, pushed her out of the car, and ran over her repeatedly. Her body was found in a field 3 days later. Wade Wilson's father was key to his capture and arrest. After the murders, Wilson called his biological father, Stephen, several times confessing to the crimes in gruesome detail. "I am a killer," Wilson said. Stephen said Wilson confessed to choking Melton after she went to sleep and stopping Ruiz for directions before she got into the car, choking her while he drove. According to Stephen's testimony, Wilson said Ruiz was still breathing before he repeatedly ran over her. After initially dismissing the calls and attributing the admissions to Wilson being a good storyteller, Stephen, 46, put his phone on speaker with Wilson's biological mother listening in and relaying information to the police. So his father already said he was a good storyteller. Okay, so at first he didn't really believe it because he told stories. Stephen asked Wilson for his location and told him he would send an Uber to him. Instead of his whereabouts were provided to police, who arrested Wilson on October 8th, 2019. This is Wade Wilson. If you do not know, I'm not sure what he done to his face, but yeah. Also, I believe his teeth got messed up 5 days before he did these murders. Evidently, he was in jail. 3 or 4 people jumped him and busted his teeth out of his mouth. Wilson, who shares his name with Marvel character Deadpool, was tried and found guilty on 6 charges. 2 counts of first-degree murder, grand theft, battery, burglary, petty theft. Wilson also faces in unrelated crimes, including attempted escape from jail and drug charges. Florida juries were required to vote unanimously for a death sentence recommendation until April 2023, when Governor Ron DeSantis lowered the threshold by signing into law a bill allowing juries to recommend death within a few as 8 votes. Wade Wilson's sentencing on June 25th, 2024, the jury in Wilson's trial recommended he receive the death penalty for each of the murders. During the penalty phase of the trial, jurors had the option of recommending life in prison without parole or death. After considering aggravating and mitigating circumstances, the jury voted 9-3 and 10-2 for death. Sentencing is scheduled for August 27, 2024, and trial judge Nicholas Thompson will decide whether the death sentence or life without parole is imposed. Once sentence and other unrelated charges, including escape attempt, are resolved, Wilson will leave the Lee County Jail for state's prison system. If Wilson is sentenced to death, he'll be transferred to Florida's death row at Union Correctional Institution, where he'll be housed in a 6 by 9 by 9.5 feet high cell. Florida's death row is at Union Correctional Institution in Rayford, about 45 miles southwest of Jacksonville. All right. So that's what we know, right? That's what's happened. And then there's been a quick turn. Now, before I go on, I want your opinion on this. Before I go on, yeah, Chica, hi, baby. How are you? Yes, we are going to get into it. Hey, SDA, my love. What you doing, sister? We are going to stay on top of this because after I just wanted to know about it yesterday while I was in a lot of pain, I thought, no. This is something me and my angels, we're going to cover this. We're going to bring out the cobwebs of Betty Washam's investigations, and we're going to cover this. So I can either play his ex-girlfriend and let you hear a story that happened to her first, and Chica, I want to say something to you, sweetheart. The day that I was talking about Ernie, I wasn't trying to be mean to you. I just want people to start thinking a little bit more with their gut feeling. And I know that you're a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman. And I just think that you know, like I tell you all the time, go wherever you want, watch whoever you want. Ernie's in entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Ernie's in entertainment. But I do want to apologize to you if it felt like that I had came off raw or mean to you, because I didn't want that. I was just getting really frustrated because when I'm trying to point out different things, and then I feel like people are like, oh, it's a joke. He didn't really do that. It does something to me, because I know he's been doing this for 3 years. I've had women come to me privately that I haven't even talked about, that some of you don't know about, because I promised that I would never talk about it, where he stole things from them and he's ruined things and he's ruined their lives, So that's why, yes, that's it. That's it. But as long as you know who he is and you've got your guard up, that's all that matters. Okay? That's all that matters. All right. So, would you like to hear what his ex-girlfriend had to say? Because if someone would have listened to his ex-girlfriend, none of this would have happened. And I'm not talking about Maya. I'm talking about his ex-girlfriend from 2018, right before this happened. And then he got with Maya. So put a 5 in the chat if you would like to go over what his ex-girlfriend went through with this man. Because that's kind of where I started. I learned about the case, and then I went there, and then I went everywhere. But that's kind of how I started getting the picture of what was going on. Okay, good. Because I felt that all of you would want to do that, because if this woman would have been able to get her words out, these other women would have never died. Okay. So, just give me just 1 second here, and I'm going to pull her up. And if you hear me shaky, it's because my stomach is still hurting. Please pray for me that I don't have something severely wrong to where I don't even know. Let's just pray for me, because Hmm. It's really gotten bad for me. Okay, that's okay, Victoria. Ugh. Now, if anybody would have listened to this girl right here, none of this would have ever happened. So I'm going to put it on a faster speed, but you're going to definitely get the gist of everything. Victoria, what do you need? I'm not. Go lay down. Go lay down. When I get done, I'll be right there with you, okay? Yes. Okay, let me see if this is. Okay, so yeah, this is it. Okay, so I do apologize. I'm running a little bit, what do you call it? A little bit, um, I'm not at my best right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't feel the greatest. So if I'm a little bit slow, that's why. Okay, so this woman right here met Wade in 2018. She's going to tell her story. Now, when she tells her story, ladies and gentlemen, he should have went to jail for everything he did to her. I just want to straight up say it. No joking, you know? All right, so let's go.
I personally feel like if someone would have just listened to Kelly early on, this whole thing could have been prevented.
Amen.
Kelly, would you start by telling my audience when and how you first met Wade?
We met in, I believe, September 2018. We met on the Plenty of Fish website, and he came over to my house and we had dinner. And
okay, hold right there. The reason that I said next we're going to be talking about a man that I knew, I also met him on Plenty of Fish in 2016, and then now he's a murderer. Okay, I'm just telling you for my own what happened to me, and we're gonna go on to that after we get done. In between the Wade stuff, listen, we're going back into the true crime. We're going back into the true crime because this is where my passion is. I don't know if I do or not, honey. I'm going to the doctor again tomorrow, but I'll tell you what, the pain is starting to radiate into my back. And I have 3 wigs that I have to do, and I'm honestly so sick to my stomach and hurting so bad. I don't even feel like putting the wig on my head and doing a video or doing a picture, because I feel that bad. Um, I don't know. Tomorrow I'm going to the doctor, and then they're going to set me up with a gastro or, what do you call them? A gastrologist or whatever. Okay, so, oh, okay, you have it. Well, see, my ex-husband had Crohn's disease, but I don't know what that is. And I am so, so sick. Navy Mom, can you message me a little bit about that? Because I will talk to my doctor and see if he can check and see if I have it and what all it entails. Because, girl, I honestly feel like I'm dying. Okay, I feel like I have stomach cancer or something. I'm not an Ernie Shell. Okay, I've already had cervical cancer, and I beat it and I won, but I'm not feeling good. I mean, that's why I really haven't been turning on the camera. I'm really not feeling good. So if you could just put prayers, send me some information. All I beg of you is just prayers from all of you because you're my angels, and that's all I need is some prayers. It will make me feel that way. Okay. So we'll talk about it off of here, baby, because I want to get to this, but if I need to know what I should tell my doctor to start looking for, because I'm so terrified that if I have cancer, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know it's just going to kill me. And I've had my gallbladder checked 4 times in the past 15 years. And I just don't, they keep telling me, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like I'm in tears. I'm in so much pain. But it is what it is. We gotta push through. Okay. All right. So, let's listen to this woman named Kelly. And if people would have listened to her, none of this would have ever happened. All right. I'm shutting my mouth now.
That was the first time I met him.
How long of correspondence went on your fish before you two actually linked up and hung out?
I think we talked for about a week.
Did Wade approach you or did you approach Wade?
I don't remember. I think I probably approached him because he's very attractive and there's not very many attractive people on that website.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that you were honest about that. And I think that you being honest about that, that's going to win some points over the audience, because a lot of people during these interviews, they get on the interviews and they say what they think they should be saying instead of being real. And so I do appreciate you saying that. That's a big part of it. The way that Wade looks, like the way that he maneuvers and everything, a big part of it is his physicality. So you hung out, met for dinner, and what happened?
That's it. We just started talking. I think we talked for like a week before we started like officially dating. And I'm not usually one to like move fast like that. I've always been cautious, and just he sucked me in. And I'm a very like private person, and I've always been like against my friends that start dating people and like immediately like get married or move in with them and stuff like that. But that's exactly what I did, and that's like not me normally.
Was it just like physical? Like you were just like, wow, I got this like hot guy. He's interested in me. Like, ooh, I'm gonna take a chance on this.
He was a very smooth talker and just like, 6'4", very attractive man. And he like, I don't know, he just said all the right things that made me want to completely forget all the stuff I've ever used in every other date.
Where was Wade living during this time?
So he told me he was living with a friend of his, but I later found out like a while later that it was actually a halfway house. He told me that he was living with a friend and he didn't want to live there anymore. And he wanted to stay with me for a little bit, like just spend the night. So initially he just spent a couple nights with me and then eventually just like never left. And I thought he was just living with a friend of his that he just didn't want to, stay in some other guy's house, but it was actually a halfway house that his biological dad had sent him to.
Oh, so that means that he had been incarcerated and they had let him out into a halfway house?
Either that or he was bad into drugs wherever he was living and his dad like gave him an ultimatum.
When you first met Wade, was there any sign of substance abuse or anything like that?
Nope, not at all.
No, not at all. You spoke on Plenty of Fish for about a week and then you met for dinner. And then how long after that did he move in with you?
Very shortly, probably less than a month.
Less than a month. Was he working during this time?
No. He claimed that he was a personal trainer and he had like an Instagram dedicated to it and stuff. And he was fit and he worked out all the time. But he said that he needed to like take a personal trainer test to become an actual personal trainer. But he like made his own like TikTok and Instagram and stuff for like Wade Wilson personal training, but he had called it something else. He went by Steven when I met him. I didn't know his name was Wade. Sorry, Doug.
Was he making money from social media or from training?
No, not at all. When he went to go train people, he was actually just meeting up with girls and sleeping with them. There was no training going on.
Wow. So what was a typical day like for you and Wade?
Well, I worked. So I don't know what he did when I was at work, but usually if I was off and we were hanging out, I would play video games a lot. He would take my car a lot and go work. I don't know. We had gone to a couple theme parks because, I'm only like 2 hours from Orlando. So we would go to Universal. We would go to the zoo. We would go hang out with my friends or go to my family's house.
So he met your family?
Yeah. My parents actually liked him a lot. He was really polite. He said like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. He had dinner with them a couple times. And at first they liked him a lot. They were like, oh, this guy's great. He's very attractive and he's very polite. And eventually my mom saw through that though.
And you didn't listen to her?
No.
So you mentioned Wade's biological father. Did you actually meet him?
No, I never met any of his family.
But he met your family?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you just to tell things in your own words.
Things were decent for a little bit. In early December, I had let my friend Sarah move in with me because she and her long-term boyfriend had broken up.
What month did you actually meet Wade?
September.
September. And so then December, you let a friend move in?
Yeah, my friend Sarah, I let her stay with me on the couch because she had been with her boyfriend for like 4 years and I'd been friends with them. So, you know, she was 18 and I was like, oh, you can come stay with me for a little bit. It's fine. I had caught some text messages between them where they were calling each other babe and stuff. And I was like trying to call them out and they were denying everything. And I had been in a bad car crash. So I was going to physical therapy that day. So when I got back from physical therapy, all their stuff was gone, Wade and Sarah. My PlayStation, my handgun, and they were gone. And
How long have you been friends with her?
We'd been friends for like 2 years.
2 years. Now, is there an age gap between you and this friend?
Yeah, she was 18 and I was 26, I think.
And how old was Wade?
24.
Okay, so you're a couple years older than him.
Yeah, and I had met her friend of mine. It was like his little sister, basically. So eventually I got a hold of them and I found out that they were on their way to Texas. They were gone. So I had figured out a way to get a warrant for his arrest from when he had previously stolen a laptop from me. He had stolen a laptop from me, pawned it like a mile up the road.
So before December, he had already stolen something from you.
Yeah.
So he moved in with September. So he had already stolen something before December. Now it's December and he's stealing more stuff, a handgun. And what else did he steal from you?
My PlayStation, and I think he stole my new laptop too. I don't remember. He stole a lot.
Wow.
Told the police that, hey, this guy stole my gun. Like, you know, this man is out here with a gun that's not his. They didn't care. They were like, well, we can't do anything about it until it pops up somewhere. So I ended up being able to get a warrant for his arrest. And him and Sarah had gotten into an argument while they were there. And she left him in Texas. She like drove back to Florida. And he had contacted me and asked to come home. And initially my plan was just to get him in Florida so that they can serve the warrant and arrest him. So I paid $50 to get him on a bus and get him home. And he got to my house and I pretended that I had to go get something outside. And there was like 20 cops outside and dogs, and they had shotguns. And they were like, we can send a dog up after him. And I was like, no, I have dogs. Like, don't do that. I was like, I'll get him to come down. So I asked him to just come down and bring me my car keys. And he did. And they took him down and arrested him. And I think he was in jail for a couple days. And then he started crying and calling me and blah, blah, blah. And I fell right back into it and I bonded him out.
Did you ever get the gun back?
No, I never saw it again.
Well, he pawned the rest of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, I never got my PlayStation back. They never found it. And
okay, first and foremost, I'm listening to what this woman is saying, right? And when he took her gun and he took her laptop and stuff like that, that should have been number one flag, never to feel sorry for him again, you know, type of thing. But some of us are too nice and some of us do not get, we let that red flag, because the reason I say this is because I've even been duped myself. We kind of talked about it yesterday. I've been duped myself by addicts. And you know, you let them stay the night or whatever. Next thing you know, your laptop's gone. You let them stay the night or whatever, or you're married to them and they're addicts. And next thing you know, your jewelry's gone. So, that is your first clear sign, right? Is that when they steal from you and then she put him in jail, that should have been the end of that. But of course, it doesn't usually happen that way. They go back for more, thinking that because some of these guys are real master manipulators and they know how to pull these women's strings, if that makes sense.
the gun, Sarah claims that she never saw it, but it was a gun that my dad's friend had given me, and he's gone forever.
He's bonded out of jail, and so is this still around December, or what time frame is this now?
January.
January. Okay, so now you bonded him out of jail. So what happens next?
He had started using drugs. At first, it was just cocaine, and I don't know anything about drugs. So when I started finding like empty pens and Brillo pads and stuff, I was like, "What the crap is this?" So I posted on Reddit.
Ooh.
on a page made specifically for people that use drugs legally in other countries. And I was like,
Oh, wow. So that stuff is like, that's that hardcore stuff that one time when Dank said that my pipe, looked like a crack pipe because it was a glass one hitter that my husband's always had my husband's had it ever since I've met him. He still has it today. He smokes out of it all the time. But Dank was saying I was smoking crack. And my husband said, Betty, in order to smoke crack, you have to have like a certain kind of pipe, Brillo pads, and all kinds of weird stuff so that the crack doesn't get out of the top of, the pipe or whatever. You can't be throwing it around like a cigarette like I was doing on the videotape. But you guys know how these people take stuff and run with it. But so that's what she's looking at. So he's smoking crack. Because that's what that Brillo pad stuff is what my husband said. He's smoking crack. Okay. Wow.
what is this? And they were like, oh, he's smoking crack. And I was like, what?
Yep.
He used to get really paranoid. He would stay up all night and like watch my Ring doorbell camera and like stare out the window. And he was like, people are watching us. He put my Alexa in the freezer.
But I didn't freak you out.
I was like, what is going on?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was weird. He would take my car at night, disappear. He'd crash my car a few times. So eventually, I was
just like crackhead stuff, like just real crack addict type stuff. So, do you think that he was just maybe doing this all along and hiding it, or do you think that he just picked up this habit a few months into the relationship?
From what I had heard, they had done meth in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was clean when I first met him, and then he just got back into the drugs. And from what I've been told now, he had a drug problem. So he was probably clean for a little while and then just had freedom to start doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
He would steal my stuff and pawn it and then use the money to buy drugs, I guess.
But you and him never did drugs together, or he felt like maybe he had to hide that from you because that was not something you were into? Is that how was the deal?
Okay. So high. He was so high. He put the Alexa in the freezer because he was afraid because it was talking to him. So he thought that it was like spying on him. So he put Alexa in the freezer. Yeah. And I also want to say thank you all my angels for being here with me. Well, now Donna's going to go into detail what we need to know. It's a copper scrubber pad they use, usually Chore Boy or some other generic brands. Copper? Why is it copper? Like when I scrub my stove and I scrub my sinks and stuff, I use those SOS steel pads, but they got like the soap already in them and they're blue. Why does it got to be copper? Does it have something to do with the way you have to smoke it? Betty, how is it when you eat Oh, okay, yeah, I'll tell you. How come it has to be copper? Does it have to be copper, or is that really like? I love Donna. She always has the answers. Because I've never smoked. I've never even been around. That's one thing I can say is I may have been around people that did meth and I didn't do it and stuff and cocaine, but I've never seen crack ever in my life. Go ahead. I sat with a lady that would eat everything but with meat. She would chew it up and spit it out and not swallow to digest. Wow. Okay, SDA. Okay, hang on. Copper or steel? But it wouldn't be able. Yes, Ty. We're getting there. But it wouldn't be like the kind I use then with the soap. You can't do that. The heat and the temperature. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I've got a lot that we're going over here, but this was the girlfriend in 2018. And if people would have listened to her when she put him in jail the first time, but then the second time of what he did, I didn't hear if she put him in jail or not. But we're getting to the part of what he did to her. If people would have listened then, he'd have been off the streets. Nobody would have got hurt.
Yeah, he used to like snort coke or whatever he was doing, but he would tell me not to look at him when he did it. Like, I don't know if he was embarrassed or he knew I wasn't into that, but he would be like, don't watch me. And I'm like, what? Like, this is weird.
Oh,
So eventually,
wow.
ultimatum.
How often was this?
He was doing it quite a bit towards the end. And I was done. I was like, I can't do this. Like, you have got to leave my house or go to a rehab. Like, we're not doing this anymore. So finally on February 18th, which was the day before my birthday, he agreed to go to rehab. And there was one in Boynton Beach that we were going to go to. And we drove all the way down there, which is like 30 minutes from my house. And we parked outside and he chickened out and he was like, I can't do it. And I was like, okay, like, you have to do something. You're not coming back to my house. So I sat and I called a bunch of other rehabs. None of them would take, I don't think he had insurance. So they wouldn't take him without insurance. And he said, let's just go back to your house. We'll figure something out. And I really didn't want to, but we got back to my house and he suddenly said that he had a rehab to go to in the Keys. And I just had to get him there. And I was like, that's 3.5 hours away. Like, that's far.
That didn't ring any alarm bells?
No, I was just like, whatever, get this dude out of my house. I don't care. So I had asked my mom for money because I didn't get paid till the next day. And I was like, I need money to, I didn't want to tell her that I was driving him to the Keys to go to a rehab. But she at this point was over him and over all of the heartbreaks that he had put me through. So she was like, I'm not helping you, give him money. I was like, no.
So was it just you and Wade living together, or do you have children?
No, I don't have any kids. It was just me and my pets.
You and your pets, your babies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your mother says no, she's not going to give you money to get him to the Keys. So then what happens?
So we go back to my house and he says that we should pawn my laptop, the one that he had already pawned. And I had gotten back because we needed money to get to the Keys. And I was like, sure, we can try it. They didn't want it. They were like, it's cracked on the screen. Like, we don't want this. So we called a bunch of people. And at this point, it had been a couple hours. It was getting dark. And we had gotten in an argument. So he was driving my car and he had my phone. He like didn't want me to be using my phone. He was very possessive and weird at the end. So we were near downtown Lake Worth, which was only a couple miles from my parents' house. So I got out of the car. I was like, I'm walking to my parents. Take my car. I don't care. Like, I'm done. I don't care. So I started walking and my mom called me because it was like 8:00 at night. And he was like, your mom is calling. Get back in the car. And I was like, fine. So I got in the car and he told me to put my seatbelt on, and I did. And then he just reached over and started strangling me with both hands. And this man is like 6'4". And
all of a sudden, he tells her to get in the car, put her seatbelt on, and he just reached over and started strangling her. Now, this is prior to the murders. This is 2018.
And when he was doing that, he bit my face and my ear.
He bit her face and her ear.
And he asked me if I was going to stop being stupid. And I said, yes, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what I did. And he had a pocket knife. Don't know where he got it, but he used it to cut my shirt and my sports bra off. Mm-hmm. And then he tied my hands together and pushed me on the floorboard of my car.
Okay, so he cut her clothes off. And he pushed her in the floorboard of her car.
And he told me to stay there and that we needed to find money or he was going to stab me.
Stay there and that they needed to find money or he was going to stab her to death. Okay.
We drove around like that for probably like an hour. I didn't have any gas. He turned the AC off because he was afraid it was going to like use more gas. So he told me that he could tie me to a tree or tie me up in the back of my car. And
oh, my heavenly Father, he said he could tie her up to a tree or in the back of her car. What a nightmare. Thank goodness you are still living. You are still here to tell your story.
I was like thinking, oh, you could tie me to a tree. That's fine. I'll find a way to get home. Wow. He was like, I'll have to knock you out first. And I was like, never mind.
Why would you have to knock you out first?
I don't know. He was being very aggressive. He had already hit me in the face once. I had a bloody nose.
Wow. I really feel that this man has anger issues towards women. That's my opinion so far.
So I wasn't allowed to look around while I was on the floorboard. So it felt like we went over a couple train tracks and then it got super dark. So I think we were in one of the parks that are around that area.
I'm sorry. The options were he could tie you to a tree.
Yes.
Or
tie me up in the back of my car.
Okay. And which did you choose to do?
My car.
Because you didn't want to get knocked out.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just, it's so asinine. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I was like, if this man hits me, like, I'm gonna be messed up.
Right.
So, he pulled over somewhere in the park and he told me to get out and get in the back seat, but don't look around. So I did, and I just kept my head down. And when I got in the back seat, he had pulled my shorts off, so I was completely naked at this point. And he had sex a couple times, and then he used. I had laundry bags, like plastic garbage bags full of laundry, because I lived in downtown. There's no like laundry places. So I was going to go do laundry at my parents' house. So he used the laundry bags to tie my feet together. And then he came around the other side and tied a t-shirt and leggings around my eyes and my mouth.
Wow.
And then tied my arms together as well.
Oh my God.
And he had slammed the door on the passenger side where my feet were, slammed my foot, broke my foot. I was screaming. Like, and then he just piled dirty laundry on top of me.
Hold up. He tied her up. He stripped her down nude so that way that if she got away, you know, she would be nude. It would be harder for her to get away. Then he strategically tied her up, and then he threw laundry on top of her. Now, after beating her, biting her, strangling her, deciding whether he was going to knock her out and put her on a tree. Oh, wow.
And drove off.
Then he broke her foot. He shut the door and broke her foot, and he drives off.
And he sold my phone to somebody for $50 and what I assume was more drugs. They found weed in my car when they searched it. So he got money. He went to McDonald's and got like food and drinks while I was tied up in the back of the car, covered in laundry.
You're like, welcome, Wendy.
I just remember thinking, my family's not going to find me, and it's my birthday. Like, this is,
and
I'm gonna,
her birth.
They're never going to find my body.
Whoa. And I'm sorry, but it was her birthday. You know, it's bad enough that she's going to live with this for the rest of her life, and knowing that if she could have done, knowing that if she would have spoke out more or something, that this would never have happened to the other two ladies. But not only that, but this guy's so demented that it was her birthday. She will remember this for the rest of her life on her birthday.
Like, they're just, no one knows where I am. No one knows anything. I later found out that my best friend had like a weird feeling and sent my other best friend to go drive by my house to check on me. And my car wasn't there. And they were like, that's weird. Like, that's, you know, she's not answering us and she's not home. Obviously they couldn't do anything because they didn't know where I was, but she had like a weird feeling. So eventually I complained enough that my hands and my feet had hurt so bad from being tied so tight that he untied my feet and he let me flip around so that my head was on the passenger side. And then he untied my hands as well. He told me I had to keep my eyes covered and the gag in my mouth.
Mind you, her foot is...
So that was like another 2 hours maybe. And then eventually he undid...
Foot is broken during all of this. Like, he slammed your foot in the car door.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
My face was busted. My lip was busted and bleeding. And when he took the gag out of my mouth and he saw what he did to me, he started crying. He was like, look at your face. Like, I can't believe I did that to you. I'm so sorry.
Wait, he told you to look at your face, that he can't believe what he did to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't see what I looked like, but I could feel that I had like crusted blood on my face.
Oh my goodness.
To like placate him and make light of it. And I was like, oh, it's okay. I look like a Kardashian now. Like, I could feel like my lip is so messed up.
Oh my goodness.
And he reached back and he was trying to hold my hand. And I was
don't mean
like,
to make light of it. I guess it's good that you're bringing levity to the situation, but that was like the most hilarious thing right there. What you just said.
Morbid sense of humor. Like, when I get scared, I like make light of things. He held my hand and was like, I love you. I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh no, it's okay. Like, I was, you know, trying to.
Right.
Trying to say
when we got down to the Keys, I had told him that I really had to go to the bathroom. So he pulled over next to a place called Sundowners.
Wow.
And they were closed because it was like 2 a.m. He let me get out and pee in their parking lot. And then I said, like, I should probably
notice the words, he let me. See, pay attention. This is what I do. I always pay attention to people's words and notice the words, he let me get out to go to the bathroom. He let me.
Be sitting in the front seat because, you know, we're meeting up with a friend of yours or something. Wouldn't it be weird if I was in the back, like tied up, he was like, you're right. Put some clothes on and you can sit in the front seat. But he made me sit on the floorboard until we got closer to where we were going. And
Was
then
he doing drugs during all of this, during this drive and during this abuse and everything? Was he doing any drugs?
I'm not sure. I didn't smell anything, but I was also like under piles of laundry.
Right.
It would not surprise me because they found a bag of weed in my car. I don't smoke even weed. But I'm sure he was doing something harder because.
Yeah, weed is not going to make you.
Yeah. So when we got down there, he told me not to look at the person that he was going to go with because of my face. And we got down to this gas station and there was a girl there.
Hey, Mel.
And he said,
hello, Angel.
like, get in the driver's seat. And he grabbed his backpack and went left. And he handed me my keys. And he just left with this girl named Courtney.
Did the girl see you at all?
I made eye contact with her. She swears up and down that it was a bright gas station and she saw my face and that there was no blood. There was nothing on my face. But that gas station closes at 9. Ooh, sorry. That gas station closes at 9 p.m. So obviously it wasn't bright. It's in the Keys. They don't have big gas stations down there.
In the Keys, they do not have like huge, gigantic, gas stations. And at nighttime, no, they're not. They don't have those huge, bright lights on. They're very dim. So I don't know why this woman would say that. Well, I do because that we were talking about master manipulation to the core of this other woman who thinks this other woman is lying.
She is one of the women, the only girlfriend of his that he has not hit, and she's fighting to save him.
Yeah, there you go. That
she
one.
All of a sudden is like, Team Wade, save his life.
You know, we all make bad decisions. We all want love. You know, most normal human beings want love. And you took a chance, and you just took a chance on someone who turned out to be a monster.
Yeah, and the girl Sarah that he dated was like supermodel beautiful, and he still hit her. So it doesn't matter what you look like, you know. If you were vulnerable, he didn't care.
Do you think that Wade is inherently evil, or do you think that all of the rage is just caused by the drugs?
I don't know. I think there's evil in there.
Well,
but I think it comes from whatever mental issues he has going.
Over here on Days, we're going to be going through it from top to bottom. So I hope you're around for the ride, baby.
Going on, and the drugs probably exacerbate it. But I think, lots of people do drugs and don't. So
you're left at this gas station, and then what happens?
I drove home. I knew how to get home from the Keys because I lived down there. So a lot of people ask why I didn't stop it. Why I didn't stop at a gas station or anything. And I'm thinking, we live in Florida. If a girl that's barefoot, covered in blood, walks into a gas station asking for help, they're going to be like, oh, she does drugs. So I just drove home, and I drove home like 100 miles an hour thinking I live in Florida. I'll get pulled over, and nothing.
And so it takes you like how long to get home from the Keys?
Like 2 hours because I was driving so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to my mom's house and I used their back door key, got in the back, went in their room, and I woke them up. And at first my mom was like, what did you do? You get in a fight with your boyfriend? And then she turned on the light and she saw what my face looked like. And so we called the police and they met us at my house. They sent a CSI to go through my car. And one of them drove me to the hospital where I had the done. I gave a statement. They took photos. And then I went back home, and the detective in charge seemed like he was very helpful at first. Then, he seemed like he was very helpful at first. And then after a day or two, he just started changing. He was like, cause I had reached out to Wade. I was like, why did you do this to me? Like, what is wrong with you? And I later learned that it is like a trauma bond and battered women syndrome where, your brain is not really there. They
control.
People reach out to their assailants all the time.
Yeah.
All the people with the calls and stuff that are coming out, they're like, well, why'd you talk to him? And I'm like, if you listen to the way my voice is or you read the emails, all I wanted was him to admit what he did. That's it.
I could tell when you were talking to him on the jail calls that that's what you were doing. Like, people were like, well, why are you talking to him? I'm like, clearly this girl is trying to get him to admit to something. And even he knew it. One thing that irritated me about those calls is that he was like very arrogant. Like, I don't know exactly what you were saying, like verbatim, but it was something to the extent of, oh, you're trying to seduce someone else or something to that extent. And he was like, well, I don't have to try. So it's almost like he knows that he's attractive. So he's like, oh, I don't have to try. They just
exactly. That's how he is too. And when I had brought up that he had cheated on me a bunch of times. He's like, well, I was only with like 3 girls. And I'm like, are you serious? But he will not still admit it to this day. He will not. And it,
Do you think that maybe for you it was more traumatic because you're being intimate with this person who you want it to work and you want it to be something real, but this person is just being promiscuous the whole time and just sleeping with people. So to him, it's kind of like nothing. And so it's more hurtful to you. Do you think that that's what it is?
I think back then, yes, because I thought I loved him and I felt so broken about it. But looking back, I did not love him. I think it was lust. I had this attractive man, and it like everything that he did to me does not hurt me as much as. Can we stop, please? Sorry.
All right. So I wanted to touch base on that. That is one of his ex-girlfriends from 2018. So far, he robbed her. He went to jail for it. Then he got out, and then he stole her car with her in it. We're doing a recap here. He stole her car with her in it, and then he proceeded to tie her up, take her clothes off, put laundry over her, and then he just, said that he was going to stab her to, to unalive her if he didn't get some money. And he's driving around for hours and hours in her car with hardly any gas. And then he gives her a decision, I can tie you to a tree, or you can stay tied up where you are now. But if I tie you to a tree, I have to knock you out. And on top of that, he bit her, he broke her foot in the door. And this all happened on her birthday. Okay. And I figured some of you probably didn't. This is where I started. So since I started here, I'm going to take you through everything that got me to want to do this case, to go over this case. Because that's the best thing to do, is start from where I started and lead you up to the case. I didn't have any idea really about, I'd heard some things about what Wade had done, but I really had no idea about this lady. I had no idea about this fan group. I had no idea about any of this. So we're going to go from here to now, how the story has changed. Yeah, she's very, very, very lucky, very lucky. To how the story has changed from what actually happened, which that was him telling his father what he had done, to now we're going to go to, since he has been, okay, we're going to go to the confession with his dad, because that way that you get the confession. And then since then, he has now wrote a whole fiction story about what happened.
Take a listen.
Hey, Dad. What's up, boy? Hey, I just wanted to call you so you know that this is the number. They were just, this is the only time they give me the phone.
Did they come talk to you last night?
They did, and apparently they had already got the body at like 1 o'clock. They just wanted to come talk to me so they could fucking, so I would admit to it.
Yeah, when I walked out of visitation,
yeah.
My wife, she was in the truck,
yeah.
And she found that she had got an alert of a news story. They said they had found her at like 1:30, and they didn't announce it, I guess, until 6 o'clock or whatever. But they still haven't come out and identified her. They said no. They said that they couldn't identify her. They needed the medical examiner to do it.
You're kidding me? Holy shit!
Nope.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it that bad, son?
It was that bad, Dad. I mean, I ran over her with a fucking car 100 times. I mean, it was that's the part that made it bad right there. It wasn't bad until that happened, and then it got bad. Yeah.
Listen, I know the calls are recorded and all that, but I was sitting here working and I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's really bothering me. But I just don't understand. Like, why to that extreme? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to make it to that extreme, son?
I don't know.
What are you angry with, dude? What are you angry about? You know what I'm saying? What are you fucking angry about? Especially with women. Like, what are you angry at women for?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, dude. It bothers me.
I need to figure it out. I do.
You do need to figure it out.
I know.
But, I just don't. Did you stab that first girl?
That or no?
You choked her?
Yeah, I just choked her, yeah. That's it.
Okay. So the blood you had all over you was from the second girl.
It might have been. Yeah. Either that or it was my own. Either that or it was my own blood because I had climbed a couple fences and stuff like that, and I got blood. I cut myself. But I don't know if it was. This Tom guy, is he the guy that's from the Keys?
Yeah, he is. What? Yeah, he was on the news. He was on the news last night, just saying, that you were a monster. And,
he talked about me on this. He talked about me on the news. He was that big.
Yeah, and he compared you to Ted Bundy.
You're kidding me, bro.
No, because Ted Bundy's a good-looking kid. And he's charming, and the women like him. And
that was also Mila's ex. Correct.
That's what he said, or the news said, or whatever. But listen, Kelly's come out and wrote Channel 4 or something, and did this big story with them about what you had done to her, and if something would have happened, to you then, that you wouldn't have been able to do this to these girls, which I guess is true, But I sent her a message, dude, and I said, listen, this isn't your time. This time right here is for these women who they were still for the second one. I said, stop trying to hog the media. You know what I mean?
That's what she's trying to do, because she's trying to get all the time for herself.
She's trying to get the attention, and I said to her, I said, you need to stop, because they're still looking for this other woman, and this is not your time for that. So I can't believe that.
Did Mila say anything or no?
She hasn't said anything. I mean, the news report that she helped lead them to you, and that they said something about your father and all that. So
what do you know about my father, about you?
Yeah. They said one of the stories said that when the marshals came to the house, that when you answered the phone, you just said, I'll come out. I just want to talk to my dad or my father or whatever. So, which, I mean, I don't, listen, I don't care, Lee. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, no.
Okay? I love you. This shit is tearing me up, okay? I can't even tell you how much this is tearing me. But I feel like I told you yesterday, I feel like I worried what was coming.
Yeah.
So
they're not going to be. They're definitely not going to be sympathetic to me, especially since it took a medical examiner to fucking identify the second girl. Like I said, they still haven't. They still haven't announced it. They went to her family, and told her family that they think. They said that the body has similar characteristics of. She was a bartender at the Moose Lodge. So, what did you stop to give her a ride? Yeah. She got in the fucking car with you? Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So they said the body had similar characteristics of what? They said that the body had similar characteristics of, the lady that was missing from the Moose Lodge or walking down the street. I'm assuming maybe the clothes or something matched or something. Probably the clothes. That's what they asked me about the clothes, what clothes she was wearing and stuff like that, and all that type of stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not gonna. You think they're not gonna give me like the death penalty or anything, are they? Wait, listen. I can't answer that. I'm not going to tell you yes or no. I don't know if it's a capital crime. I think it has to be like premeditated capital crime or something. But I'm not sure, son. I won't mind that. To be honest with you. Okay, well, listen. All you can do. Your first step was you did the right thing by being honest. Okay. Second step is you have to work on yourself a little bit and figure out what it is that triggers you like that. We know it's drugs. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. It's drugs, number one, but number two, why is it always women? Why are you so mad with women? I don't know, because I don't know. You got to work that out, son. Is it your biological mom? You feel like she abandoned you, or no? I don't think it's anything to do with it. I think it's like a power thing or something. I don't know. I do too, and that's what I think. I think it's a control thing. Yeah, it is. I think it's a control thing, and you know what? You just admitting that is a big step. Yeah. Because at least you can own that a little bit. That doesn't change what happened. You didn't hear from Mila, did you? I didn't. No, I think she changed her phone number, man. She changed it. Maybe. Because I'm sure she probably would have, because she's probably getting all kind of calls and shit, Oh, for sure. Definitely. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But, and the other problem is, she's the victim of one of your charges, so I don't know that legally you should be calling her. Yeah, probably not. But the worst they can do is give me a fucking misdemeanor charge. I don't really care. Well, I'm just saying, on her end, she's probably not going to answer it because there's probably like a no contact order or something. Probably. You know what I mean? Yeah, so on her end, she's probably not going to answer the damn phone. Probably not. So, Probably right now. So are you at work right now? Yeah. Okay. I just took a break to talk to you, but no, I was just saying, I can't fucking sleep, dude. I can't fucking eat. I'm so fucked up. It's okay. I mean, it's your fault, but it is what it is. I'm just saying, I just have so many questions in my mind. Like, I try to think like, I may have done something a little bit bad situation. I feel horrible for these innocent girls. I feel bad for, I feel bad that you're 25 years old, dude. There's so much life for you. I don't know.
I can't believe that dude Thomas got on TV and said something.
Yeah, he was on there talking. He looks like a character.
He is a character, man. He is.
When was he with Mila? Before you met him in the Keys?
Yeah, but when I met him in the Keys, him and Mila had broken up, and when he brought me to Fort Myers, he tried to reconcile with Mila, and he brought me over there to hang out too, and she liked me and stuff, so me and her just got together and take him out of the picture, and he's never liked me ever since then. He talked a lot of shit, like he was gonna kill me and stuff, and that's why, every time I saw him, I showed up and he never did anything, so. Whatever.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you something that really looked bad. I was watching a couple stories online, and a lot of the media, what they're doing now is they've gone back and they've pulled your whole record. So they see the radio, they see the shit in Palm Beach, they see all of it. It looks horrible. I mean, honestly, looking at it on paper, it looks horrible. There's so many fucking charges, domestic violence. It looks bad. So I don't know. I mean,
and they put that on the news.
Yes.
Yeah, in this city, they're gonna have to do the trial somewhere else because
I don't think they would be able to get a fair jury. But but here's my thing, Ray. What are you going to take to trial, son? I mean what did you tell the detectives last night? What did you tell them?
Everything.
When they talked to you, you told them the truth. Just,
yeah. You told me to.
Well, because I feel like, I'm not going to encourage you to tell them lies, okay? I mean, I encourage you to tell the truth because it's not just you that's suffering here. There was innocent families, dude, that are suffering. Your family's suffering. Candy's so upset. She won't even answer the phone. She won't even answer my calls.
You're kidding me.
Because I think she's totally blocked it out now because she is worried. She's just concerned, dude. And she's, she loves you and shit, and she's upset. So, I don't know. I just want, I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is...
I did the right thing then, for sure.
You did the right thing. Listen to me. Because, by not doing the right thing, people can look at you and say, oh, look at him. He's a psychopath.
They're still going to say that, right? They're
still going to say that. But one thing that you can in your heart know is, you know what? I fucked up. I told the truth.
Yeah.
I told the truth. I did the right thing as hard as it was to do.
Yeah.
You did the right thing. So at least, that girl, the second girl, she had an 8-year-old daughter too, which I didn't realize until last night. No, dude, she had an 8-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son.
Yeah.
So imagine, bro, their mom was gone. So at least now they can bury her, they can grieve.
Yeah.
They deserve that, dude. They deserve that.
That's true.
And the first girl, she deserves that.
Yeah.
So, it's a bad situation, dude.
It is a bad situation. It is a really bad situation.
It's a bad situation. It is. So I don't know. I don't have much advice.
All right, so that's him confessing to his dad right after it had happened. Also, he had confessed to his father, as I read to you when it had happened. All right, now we're going to go to the interview with his father because that kind of puts a perspective on who you just got through listening to. And there was only one person that actually got the interview. It's 23 in Lockdown. So shout out to 23 in Lockdown. I've been watching him for several years. He's really good at what he does. Lockdown 23 in 1, I think it is. But shout out to him. And he did get the actual interview with the father. The father actually talked to him because he said that he was the best one as to covering all of this and everything. We're going to bring him on and go through that because I'm taking you step by step on what I did to where I came to where I am now. And believe me, I did this all night long because I have had no sleep because I have been hurting all night. So this is what I did. These are where I went. All right.
Not to mention, we're going to go into how his father feels about all this and speak about some things that weren't even brought up in the courtroom. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. All right, buddy. So what's your name and where are you from for the people that might not know?
My name is Steve. I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
All right, let's start from the beginning, man. Take the ship.
I was young. My mom and dad had they divorced, so it was just me and her. And my sister was ripping and running, and you know, I knew Wade's mom, and you know, she got pregnant. I was 15, she was 14, and you know, we tried. My mom, she had lung cancer, and she was excited to be a grandma, and she died a month before he was born. So,
I mean, what'd you do after that? That's pretty much the only person that you're leaning on at the time, right?
yeah, I had an older cousin who just graduated college, and she gave, you know, power of attorney to him before she died. And
Hang on one second.
you know,
So, that's why I'm doing this, Navy Mom. I didn't know nothing about it either, so I'm taking you from point A of where I started investigating all the way to what, you know, I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So that way that we all start together and we all start learning the case together. So I put it in all these orders because this is how I researched it. So yeah, I was just learning the case as well. This is his bio father. Yeah, he is hot, and he's a big guy. Yeah, the host is a good looking guy. Yeah, 23 in lockdown 23 and 1. Yeah, he's very good looking. He did serve time in prison, and that's why he talks about, you know, that's what he used to talk about was prison and things like that. But he straightened his life out, and he came out, and he has a podcast. And so he was the one that actually got the story from Wade Wilson's father.
she was pregnant with his name was Anthony. She was pregnant with him when my mom died. So I went through that, and you know, I stayed with her, with Wade's mom a lot, you know, and then she went into labor, went to the hospital, had him, and brought him home, had him, you know, for a few months. And then I got in some trouble, and I ended up doing 8 months in a juvenile program. And, you know, I know it was hard on her being so young and alone, you know, basically with a baby. So,
and who was she staying with at the time?
She was staying with her grandfather. In Tampa. Yeah.
In Tampa. Okay. All right. At least she had someone to lean on a bit, you know?
Yeah. She had a good family. Her parents and grandparents, they were good people.
Okay. Okay. So you get your 8 months. She keeps the baby around. At what point does the whole adoption process come through? That came into play pretty soon after, or what?
Yeah, I was about to get out in 2 months, and I got a legal document saying that she was putting him up for adoption. And you know, I was a kid. I didn't really have nobody to have my back, you know, so it was what it was. I couldn't fight that. I wanted to at that time, but you know, I couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, at that age, it might have been for the best anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know me at 15.
Yeah. Listen,
golly.
as I've matured, I understand that was 100% the right decision to do. So, you know, I'm not upset about it. So,
yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people agree, you know, including myself. All right. So, and that's pretty much the end of that. He just kind of vanished off into the adoption process. And, I mean, now after the fact, later on down the road, you know, if he lived in a somewhat decent foster care?
Yeah, the people that adopted him, his mother, her parents knew these people from their church. So
Yeah, I think I remember reading about that.
yeah, and they were, they were looking to have a baby boy. So it just worked out where they adopted him, and gave him a good life. They're good people.
Did you know about any of that?
I didn't know specifically who it was or anything. I just knew they were from the church that her parents went to. And,
yeah,
I know at one point they moved to Tallahassee. I heard that over the years,
uh-huh.
But that was it. I never had any contact or anything.
Okay. And some point y'all end up linking back up.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Just random. When he was 18, I think he had reached out to his mother, and I hadn't seen her or talked to her since he was given up for adoption.
Really?
And
wow.
Yeah. So I got a message or something that he had reached out to her and was looking for me as well. So we got in touch like that.
Okay. So break it down. The first time meeting up with him, man. Well, first off, are you tall?
No, absolutely
Well, he's pretty tall, right?
I don't know where he got that from. He didn't get it from us, I promise you.
He might not be yours, man.
Luckily, I did get the DNA test, so I know that for sure.
I hate to say that, bro. I'm just playing, man, But
yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, where the hell did this dude get this height from? Everybody keeps saying he's 6'5". He's not 6'5".
Skips a generation or something. Oh, he's not 6'5"?
No, he's not 6. He's like 6'3".
6'3", 6'3".
Don't get me wrong.
He's 6'3", but okay. That's tall.
Yeah, he's tall. He's still taller than me, I promise.
Oh my goodness! All right, man. I'm trying not to laugh at this type of stuff right now. Right? You know what I mean? But you meet up with him. How was it? Where'd y'all meet up at for the first time?
We talked on the phone.
Yeah, but how much did you talk to him before you ended up meeting up in person?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
He seemed normal.
Huh?
He seemed normal?
No, absolutely not.
Oh no!
But you have to understand. By the time he came into my life, we were in opposite ends of everything. He was where I once was. He was in active addiction. He was, doing that thing. Just everywhere.
I mean, did he tell you this when did he tell you straight up, hey, I'm addicted to this, that, and the third? Okay, he just straight up told you, huh?
Yeah, well, we talked, and I knew, I could tell. And, I told him about my past, and he told me where he was at that time. And, it really, I felt like I needed to make up lost time. So, anything he wanted, I was sending him money, getting him hotel rooms, sending him Ubers, anything he needed,
Yeah.
And he was, in and out of jail. He ended up going to prison, and he did about a year, and that's where he lost his teeth at.
How'd that happen?
He just got dumped on. He doesn't do good with men.
Yeah.
He's not built like that. He's a coward when it comes to men.
Yeah.
That's the truth. When he was in prison, he was checking in multiple times, owing people money, just doing that stupid stuff. So his anger's always been towards women. He doesn't try men like that.
Well, was there any time where you felt like that you've seen him get violent with women before any of this other stuff took place?
Oh yeah. Yeah. What would end up happening is, he would get with a girl and they'd hang out, rip and run for a while. And then something would happen, and she'd end up calling me. He choked me out. He jumped on me last night. I don't know what to do. He scares me, all that. And when he would be high, that's when he gets so paranoid, and he just loses it. He becomes a different, how alcohol makes some people courageous.
Yeah.
When he would do meth.
Okay, that's the part we're going to get to, Navy Mom, that's going to shock you. Yeah, it's going to shock you as to where we're going with all of this. I just want to get through the key points, and then there's whole twists and turns and all of this. That's why I said we all love good drama. We all love, mysteries and things like that. But This one has got a lot of twists and turns. But Chica, yeah, since you're on top of it, baby, if you could help me out, that would be awesome. And also things that you would like, for me to go over, with my point of view and stuff like that. I used to absolutely love doing this. It's just it just not only that, but it just got just monotonous of when the children started missing and stuff. That when I was putting out other children and how they didn't get the attention and stuff. That's when I really stopped doing the true crime, because I was just like, wait, this ain't about like missing children or children that have, been red rummed or anything. This is just about how much money can somebody make off of this, right? And I want to go back into the real true crime to where it's the adults and things like that, to where it doesn't involve like the children on that spectrum. Hey, Tommy, nice to see you. How are you? Hope everything is good. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the like, babe.
That's what would happen. But it was always with women, he's never had a problem with women, getting women. So that's who he would always take everything out on, is women.
Did he have any kind of relationship with his mom after the whole adoption thing?
A couple times, I think the adoption has hurt her worse than people think, and the older she got, she just never could pull out of it, man. She's been in and out of prison.
So you've been in his life way more than his mom.
I mean, yeah. She's battled her own issues, she still is trying to get her stuff together, So there was a few times where, he'd want money from me because he'd want to go down to Tampa or St. Pete and run the streets with her, and I said, I'm not doing that.
With the mom?
With his biological mom.
Oh, okay. So she was running with him a little bit.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, but I told him, I'm not sending you down here for that. That's going to end you up in trouble. I don't want that for you. And that's your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild, man. All that put together, it could definitely do something to a young man's mind as a child and going up. That's just how it is. Some people it doesn't affect. Some people it does. And also, like I said to you before, some eggs just come out bad, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's mental issues, man. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with the ticker.
One thing I've heard a lot of is people have said that when she was pregnant with Wade or Anthony, whatever back then, that she used drugs, and that's not true.
Okay.
She never used drugs with him. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do any of that. Yeah. Now, as far as any mental illness, I don't know about that because, we haven't seen each other or dealt with each other. So I know she's battled addiction, but she never used with him when she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, she was young, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And,
she was a kid, like me.
Yeah. It was different time and age too. I mean, now, young people can be addicted, but the majority ain't getting into that super hard stuff till a little older, you know what I mean? But anyways, speaking of which, since you clarified about something, is there any other type of things that you might want to, kind of clarify that you might have been hearing that might be some misconfusion?
One thing I've learned from this whole incident is, I used to be the type that would like scroll through videos and, oh, that's so sweet, or man, that's messed up. And I believed them. I believed the videos. One thing I have learned from this, man, I don't believe nothing because I see so many videos of whoever posting these videos, like they have facts about something and they don't even know the half of it, and it really pisses me off because I'll tell you one thing that pisses me off. They want to post everybody's records, anybody who was involved with this case, they want to post their records.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you post my record. Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows my past.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me at all. But, I read these comments and videos that say, how can we believe these people? Look at their past. They've been arrested. They've been to jail. They've been drug addicts. But you can't have it both ways. Wade's a drug addict. Wade's been to prison. Wade has a past. So you're defending him because you believe he's innocent, and that's your choice. But you know, you can't criticize or judge anybody else about their past when the person you're defending has the exact same past and a lot worse than most.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so hypocritical. You know?
Yeah. A lot of things can be.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know, I've even seen stuff, you know, about my wife, because I had the phone on speakerphone, and you know, my wife was subpoenaed to testify. She didn't want to testify. I didn't want to testify, but they chose not to use her. So, you know, people have questioned that, you know, why is the wife, why didn't they? It's just ridiculous. You know, it's almost like people are trying to just find anything to justify how they feel about this case, you know?
They wanted someone else to blame other than Wade. Right?
Exactly.
You've already heard this question quite a bit. Let's start about around the time when he tells you about the first murder.
Yeah.
How the hell did that go down, man? Did you even believe him at first?
No. Oh, you know, he's never told me a story like that. Hey, I killed somebody. Usually it's a long drawn out, you know, my car's broke down, or his girlfriend's car's broke down. We need tires. We need this. You know, so it was always those type of kind of junky move stories, you know, and just needing help, you know. But so when he called me, I was working. It was early afternoon, and it was a random number that I didn't recognize, but that was normal. He would call me from all different kinds of numbers. You know, he couldn't keep a phone. So I answered the phone, and he said, hey, Dad, I need some help. Well, I automatically thought, you know, he needs a hotel. He needs money, whatever. So you know, it was a hot day. I was frustrated. I said, listen, call me around dinner time. I'll be done working. Just call me, then we'll figure it out. So he calls me, and he's in a panic. You know, I could tell he's high, and I need help. I've done something I can't take back. You know, there's 2 people that aren't with us anymore. And
did you know any of those girls? Didn't know nothing about them, huh?
I live 2 hours away, you know, so I'm not familiar with the area at all.
Yeah.
You know, and my first thought was, oh God, here we go. You know, I just thought he was on one. And we talked for a few minutes. I said, listen, I'm on my way home. I said, call me back tonight and we'll figure it out. You know, I said, are you safe where you are? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I'm in the house. I'm good. I said, all right. So in the meantime,
and he's already told you about taking 2 people out.
Yeah, but it was general. That's all he said, you know, and he didn't say, you know, he just said, I've done something I can't take back. So
now look, I know you've told, I hate to stop you. I know you've told this story before, but I haven't heard it. Honestly, I haven't heard it. I even in the court trial, I just kind of, you know, watched that little snippet that they had. But my next move probably would have been to tell my old lady.
That was part of it, because here's where I kind of get things twisted sometimes. I'm a changed person, I promise you. But a lot of times I go back in that mode. Okay. And I know when something's going on, a lot of times I just react and I don't take a breath and think about it, you know? And that was part of it. I wanted to get home. I wanted to talk to my wife because I knew there was a different vibe about this conversation with him, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. But I knew something was coming, you know? So I did. I went home, but before
I'm putting myself in your shoes, man. I'm putting myself in your shoes. Immediately, I would have been like, I'm going to the crib. And I already know what my old lady would say. Look, he killed someone. Record everything. That's the first thing she's going to tell me to do. Record. Yeah. She's got 4 different recordings and recording every.
Yeah. The good thing about my wife is I've known her longer than I've known, you know, Wade's biological mom.
Wow.
So she knows everything about me.
Wow. That's a long time. Well, before you move forward, look, you being locked up and you know that this kind of conversation's on its way. Are you feeling any kind of paranoia?
No.
No,
because one thing about me that I've learned over the years of doing the right thing, I just don't, you know, if my hands are clean, I don't worry about it on that angle. You know, I worry about it on an emotional level, you know, because I don't know where we're about to go with things.
Yeah.
But, you know, but in the meantime, as I'm driving home, I get a call and it's a detective. from the Cape Coral Police Department.
Before
And
you
she-
even talk to him again.
Yeah, in between the second call and me getting home to talk to my wife, I get a call from a detective. And what he had done was called me from one of these girls' phones.
Oh man.
So that's how they got my phone number. And in the process, I got a text message from somebody telling me that my son had jumped on his girlfriend and tried to kidnap her. So as I'm on the phone with the detective, I get a text message. So I'm thinking, oh man. The detective asked me who I was. I said, I'm his biological father. And she said, do you know where he's at? And I said, no, I don't know where he's at. And she said, have you heard from him? I said, yeah, I've talked to him a couple times. And she said, are you going to talk to him again? We need to talk to him. And I said, he said he'd call me later, you know? And she said, listen, take this number down. If you hear from him, call us. I said, okay. Hung up the phone with her, went home, talked to my wife, told my wife about the text, told my wife about the detective, you know, what Wade had said to me. And that's the only details I knew at that time. So, you know, I was kind of left for a couple hours waiting to hear from him. And he finally called me. It was about 10 o'clock at night when he called me from the same number he called me from earlier.
And it's it's a girl's number.
No, not the first time. That was
okay.
from the girl phone. The second time was from a different number.
Oh, okay.
And he told me he was in a house, he was safe. What he did was he took both of their phones. So he kept Kristine's phone open and called me from that phone initially. And then a lot of stuff happened in between, and he ended up in the house. You know, he broke into a house. He called me about 10 o'clock, and we talked, just small talk for a few, you know, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Dad, I need you to come get me. I'm in trouble. So I'm like, you know, my first reaction, I said, are you safe? And he goes, I'm safe. I just got to get out of here. So I jump up. I'm going to get my shoes on, get ready, and I'm going to drive down there and get him. Well, as I'm thinking about it, I said to myself, you better find out what's going on before you just drive down there.
Start touching things.
End up in some stuff. You know, I don't want to be involved with
I'm
stuff.
like, hold on, bro. Hold on, son.
Yeah.
Hold
So
on, man. Let's talk about these two people you killed first, because I ain't coming over there and touching nothing of yours. As I would have done said straight like that to him.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, I said to him as I'm getting ready and getting all my shit together, I said, listen, you got to tell me what's going on. I said, you know my past. I said, I need to know what's going on. And he started from top. You know, he told me Mila went to the Buddha, hanging out, you know, and he gave me kind of a shorter version. He said they got into an argument.
And Mila's one of his girlfriends.
That was his girlfriend.
Main girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. He said we got in an argument, and I ended up leaving the bar with two girls. And I was like, okay. He left out the whole part about going to the dude's house and all that. He didn't tell me any of that. All he said was they went back to one of the girls' houses and hung out for a little while. He said her friend left and they had sex and she fell asleep on the bed. And he said he stayed up for a little while, just kind of partying. And he said he just walked in there, got on top of her, and choked her to death. And at first I was thrown by it. You know, I didn't know. I'm trying to hear in his voice, you know, is this another story? But I can hear the panic in his voice, you know. I said, why, son? And he said, Dad, I don't know. Just wanted to do it. So
you believe that?
What's that?
Do you believe that?
The truth about it is, for years, I've told my wife, I said, my biggest fear is one day he's going to kill one of these girls. Because I'm telling you.
You had so many calls, man, from girls getting beat by him.
Multiple girls, man, would call me, text me, you know, just desperate. Young girls, you know, just don't know what to do, don't know how to deal with it, looking for help, you know. and everybody would say, you know, when he's not on drugs, man, he's a great dude. He's funny. He's cool to hang out with, you know, but it's something in him, man. When he gets high, he flips out, man. I just think, I think he just took it one step farther this time. I think he's wanted to do that for a long time. I know he's never done that before. He's never killed a woman before. I know that. But I feared that he would one day. So when he told me that, it hurt me, but it didn't surprise me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think about all these, you know, videos and all this that people talk about. I wonder what all these people would say if all these prior girlfriends and baby mama, told their story.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anything from any of them.
You know, just trying to make sense of it. It's wild to think, man.
Yeah, my 15-year-old, you know these kids, they don't put their phones down.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard on my young son because, you know, his friends have seen it, you know, and kids in school, I know, have probably seen all this madness. And, you know, they talk shit, but he's a strong kid. And I've taught him to be strong mentally.
Yeah.
And he's handling it really good.
Well, that's good. Man. That's good.
Yeah. You know, so the more he talked about it to me, the more I could hear it in his voice. He was almost reliving it. You know what I mean? And I had such a feeling listening to him tell me what he had done. You know, it got to the point where I put the phone on speakerphone because I felt like if I told my wife this, she wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like I needed somebody else to hear this because I almost felt, you know, I went back to like seeing him born in my memory, you know, bringing him home, holding him as a baby, sleeping with him, bathing him, feeding him, doing all these things with him. You know, I missed all those other years. So my memory of him was as a baby. And now he's a man. And I'm hearing this man that I helped create, telling me the details of all these things with joy in his voice. You know, it made me want to throw up. I literally put the phone away and felt like I was just going to throw up. And at that moment, that's the moment when I realized I hadn't even heard about Diane's situation yet. But just the details that he went into about Kristine, you know, rolling her up in the bedding and tying her up and dragging her down the, you know, trying to get her to the car, but he couldn't. She was too heavy, you know. Hearing him describe those things to me, I can't explain that feeling, you know, from your kid, you know, your son. Yeah, I didn't raise him. But we had a strong connection because he knew my past and we talked about that. We talked about, you know, getting help for his demons, you know, getting him some drug help to get off the drugs. We had detailed conversations and that's why he called me. That's why, you know, he felt comfortable to talk to me about it because I think a part of him knew that I wouldn't judge him on it, but he knew I wouldn't be okay with it because we had countless conversations about the physical stuff with these girls in the past, you know, and I would try to give him a different perspective. You know, what if that was one of your sisters, man? You know, what if that was your biological mom? What if that was your adopted mom? Would you want somebody treating them that way? You know, but it never changed. You know, I know, Dad, I know I'm wrong, but the cycle would continue, you know?
Yeah.
So it was hard to hear for sure.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. Well, you already know that the detectives are pretty much getting a lead to everything that he's doing. So you know they're going to hear this.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, before he even started continuing the story, in my mind, I knew, you know, I can't help him with this.
Oh, it was sealed shut right there.
I'm a firm believer, man. you don't hurt children and you don't hurt women, you know? And these women were innocent. It's not like they got in a, you know, they were in a relationship and got.
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, Tracy, you can fill us in on how many kids he had or whatever, because Deadpool keeps pulling up underneath him. For some reason, they're calling him the Deadpool Killer. But there is some children involved because he said the mother of his kids. Right, exact. One kid. Okay, so he has one. Do you know if it's a boy, girl? Do you know how old they are or anything like that? Anyways, I just got off my train of thought. What were they just talking about that I just went right over my head? Lord have mercy. I hate that when and I stopped it because of it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe when I go back to it, I'll figure it out.
In a heated argument, you know, this was on the fly.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from his anger from his argument with Mila. That's where he really got pissed off.
Oh, man.
At the bar.
See, now look, this is another little picture I was painting in my head. A lot of guys, man, you know, if the girl's really mad at him for leaving with another girl, he could have snapped and said, you know, well, I'm going to take her out. Maybe I'll make her feel a little better, because he's so mad in a rage, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know the ins and outs of the argument. He never went in detail with me about it, but I knew that that's where it stemmed from. His anger started there that night. And then, you know, the drugs and just probably stewing on that argument. He did what he did, you know? And, so at that point, you know, I wasn't 100%, but I was about 95% knowing this is bad. You know, this, I cannot go along with this, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. A lot of people, maybe not so many, but there's going to be some that would say, oh, hell no. Even after talking to the detectives and all that, I'm gonna still protect him. I'm not, ain't no way, you know, you get smoked right with him. You know what I mean? At this point, there ain't no helping, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, besides mentally, you know.
Right, exactly. and let me just make this clear. I've read a lot of stuff where people say, hell no, you know, that not my son. I would never turn my son in. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard decision, I promise you. And it's the worst decision I've ever had to make, like in my mind. But I knew, because I know him so well, I knew in my heart what was gonna happen. 100%. I knew what was gonna happen. I could hear it in his voice. And you know, I tried, it was so bad, I was trying to almost calm him down, you know, because he was so amped up telling me about it. And you know, he just told me, you know, he left her in the house. He took her car, took her phone, and then he went into he didn't go in detail about Mila much in that situation, but he told me.
All right. So a lot of people who haven't seen, we've already went through a lot of things. So we're skipping around from things to things, like I said, because I'm trying to put this into one video for this one time, just to get you caught up on what's going on here. So this is the interview with the father. This is when the father, you know, is talking about this. Okay. Now we're going to go into the actual, what changed this whole story and made me go, So I was listening to 10 to Live and Annie Elise, and all of a sudden she's like, we have a twist to the story. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, what more could you twist? And this is where he has now wrote his own book on what now has happened. So I would like for Who is Death? I don't know what you're talking about. I can stream anybody that I want to stream. It's called fair use. Thank you. Anyway, so right here. Okay. So they're going to, a woman's going to come on and she's going to talk about the new allegations.
Was recently released that Wade wrote this past May. He claimed that his lawyers were incompetent and that they failed to represent him accurately. And I will say, I did watch this trial and his defense team was not the best. They didn't call many witnesses. They didn't really have a strong point of view. And specifically, Wade said that his lawyers also didn't provide him with the audio and the video files from his case discovery, such as his recorded calls. Also, that it didn't show his trial date and that they failed to complete multiple investigative pursuits that could have supported his case. Now, regardless what the public opinion is on a perpetrator, a killer, a suspect, an inmate, everybody is entitled to a good defense. I think that we can all agree on that. And during the trial, there were a lot of indications that he did not really get a great defense. So now, in addition to saying that his counsel was ineffective, Wade has also come out with a news story about what really happened in October of 2019, according to him. Like I said earlier, he did say that this organization that he worked with framed him for these murders. But now he has come out with more and more details about this organization. According to him, the only reason he didn't share these details earlier was because he didn't trust his legal team to represent him properly. Almost as though if he shared these details, perhaps there would be retaliation against him from the organization or something to that effect. Now, Wade has a very large group of supporters, which I will get into and touch more on in a second here. But the following video was posted in one of these support groups. The person reading Wade's story is somebody who claims to be his very close friend. Take a listen.
Hi, everyone. This is Wade. For too long, I have remained silent, hoping that the justice system would uncover the truth on its own. However, it is clear that I must now take matters into my own hands and reveal my side of the story. From the very beginning, I have maintained my innocence. I cooperated fully with the investigation, believing that the truth would prevail. But the system failed me. Evidence was mishandled. Witnesses were intimidated. And my voice was drowned out by the overwhelming pressure to find a scapegoat. I became that scapegoat, a convenient target to satisfy the demand for justice. I share this story with you now because I believe in the power of truth and the strength of your support.
Thank you.
Together, we can shine a light on the corruption and flaws within the system that led to this miscarriage of justice.
Hold on, Bupak.
I ask you.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but before I even started with the 23, before I even started lockdown 23-1, I did shout him out, and he will be in my description, and he will also be shouted out that way. And also, I will tell my people to go sub to him. So I don't know what you're trying to do here. Okay, you need to go rewind where I shouted him out. All right, thank you.
Continue fighting for my exoneration, to demand a thorough reinvestigation of the case.
Thank you.
And to stand by my side as we seek the justice that has been denied for too long. Thank you for believing in me and for your unwavering commitment to the truth. Your support gives me so much hope to endure, knowing that one day the truth will set me free. I love you all, and thank you for joining this live.
Wade initially started working for the organization around February of 2019, and he worked with them for about 8 months until his arrest. Initially, he was brought in as a security detail. Because of his size, people are naturally intimidated by him, but didn't ask many questions about the job because he needed one and they were offering. He moved to the Florida Keys to work at a resort, and he lived on a 3-story yacht that was part of the resort. Everything initially started out okay, but about 2 days after he moved to the resort, that's when the main boss, Eric James Brown, asked Wade to be part of his first meeting as another gentleman would be coming in and he needed to talk business. At this meeting is where Wade truly understood his role and why he was asked to be part of the business, again, to be security and intimidating due to his size. And he understood that the business had to deal with guns and drug trafficking. Wade made a comment that the gentleman at the meeting stated that they would make sure there was enough ice in the ice machines. Ultimately, ice is referring to meth. Wade then started to learn about the chain of command. Tommy Williams was second in command and the main drug runner. Wade then met Josh Mateo Luckish through Eric at the resort at a party they were hosting. Over time, Wade ended up becoming the second in command, and this upset Tommy because ultimately it kicked him out of his position. Wade continued to learn more about the organization as he got closer with Eric. He learned that a majority of the drugs were from Costa Rica because Eric lived there for 1 to 2 years in a penthouse. He also learned that there was a private airport nearby in Marathon, Florida, only about 15 minutes away from the resort. They also had multiple cigarette boats at the resort, the yacht Wade lived on, and later on, Eric purchased a 2-person plane that could take off from the water. They utilized these forms of transportation to get the guns and drugs transported from Costa Rica, Jamaica, islands of Bahamas, even more places, back to Florida. And if you see it, it's only going to be a couple-hour boat ride from the Florida Keys to Costa Rica. The organization controlled the entire Keys. All of the drugs and guns coming in and out, had power and control over many people who lived in what they call the trailers in the Keys, and they continued to expand through Florida and other states. Wade realized that Eric started bringing in girls from all over who were on their payroll. He started with strippers from Miami and the Keys, and then he started seeing women being transported in from Brazil, Australia, Costa Rica, Aruba, and other exotic countries. Wade started to put the pieces together to realize that they were dealing in human trafficking as well. Before he was officially introduced to the human trafficking side, he was required to meet Eric's mother, Sandra Stillwell Youngquist, who is truly the main boss of the organization. She came down to the resort in Conquy and interviewed Wade to make sure he was legitimate and was ready to be fully involved in their business. When he realized they were involved in human trafficking, Wade became less interested in being in the organization. He said he could deal with the drugs and guns, but he didn't like the human trafficking portion of it. Eric then told Wade he needed him to go to Fort Myers to look after the girls in the spa there as security. Tommy came with him to Fort Myers, and Wade stayed at Josh Mateo's condo at the time in the area. Eric told Wade to not get involved with any of the girls at the spa, including Mila, because Mila and Tommy used to date. All of the girls at the spa are licensed, so it looks legit, but it's ultimately covering up the illegal operations. Wade started getting into the motions of the business and operations and was still mainly used as security for the girls. Wade even mentioned that they would make home or hotel visits, and he would go with the girls to drive them to make sure they would be okay. They would even bring massage tables and items, so it kept up the idea that the business was legitimate. While he was in Fort Myers, all of the guns and drugs were kept at Josh Mateo's warehouse that he used for his graphic design company, Mateo Graphics. Josh had a Cuban friend who kept his large trucks on his property. They would utilize those trucks to load the guns and drugs on and then cover it with debris to make it not look quite as sketchy. The organization had some
Navy mom. It gets good.
Dirty cops in the Cape Coral Police Department, which is the same police department that assisted in the first attempted arrest of Wade and accused him of the murders and were also part of his investigation and trial. Shortly after he arrived in Fort Myers, Wade started dating Mila. A few months later, they started talking about leaving the organization and moving to Hawaii. Now, they chose Hawaii because Mila previously dated a professional surfer there, lived in Hawaii, and was a prostitute there. Eric, Tommy, and Josh caught wind that they were planning to leave and take the rest of the girls with them. This means the spa in Fort Myers would be shut down, which affects their operations. Now, 2 days before the murders, Mila and Wade were at the spa late at night. They heard a knocking on the glass window, and Tommy was standing there with a man named Chris Brown, who was a very big bouncer and security guy for the organization. Tommy tried to get Wade to go outside and talk with him, and Wade said he would only speak to Tommy if Chris went back to the car. Once Chris went back to the car, Wade went outside, and that's when Tommy told him that they were aware of what he was up to and threatened that if he tried to leave, they would kill him. Tommy ended up leaving shortly after that. That next day, Wade went to the Buddha with Mila, where they met a doctor from Georgia who was interested in finding a girl to have sex with. Wade offered Mila up and said the doctor paid to sleep with her. Mila then went home with the doctor and did not go to a friend's house, as she said. Wade had Mila's car because she went home with the doctor. He didn't ultimately steal the car. Wade met Kristine that evening, and they went to Jason Shepard's house after they left the Buddha, which they had just met Jason that night. Mila's Hellcat ran out of gas, and ultimately it stayed parked at Jason's house while Wade and Kristine Ubered back to her place. Wade stayed at Kristine's place until about 5 a.m., maybe a little bit later. He said it was around the time the sun was rising in October. He then left because he had to go to Josh's warehouse to get drugs to do a run. He used Kristine's car to go to the warehouse because, again, the Hellcat was still at Jason's house without gas. When he arrived at the warehouse, Wade was met by Josh and another man he did not know. They said they needed to talk to him and told him to sit down. They then told Wade that they knew he wanted to leave the organization, but that wasn't going to be an option. Josh told Wade at that time that they were murdering both Kristine and Diane, and that he would be expected to take the blame for it. They told Wade exactly how both murders would be done. In this way, Wade wouldn't be able to leave and would be in prison instead. They threatened him. It wasn't at gunpoint, but Wade knew guns were easily accessible since they were at the warehouse, that if he did not take the blame, they would harm his loved ones. They then forced Wade to make phone calls utilizing a device that would reroute through the victims' phones. That's why there's evidence that Wade used their phones to call his biological father and Mila. Wade first called his biological dad and purposely called him over his adoptive parents because he didn't want to involve them. He told him he did something bad that he cannot take back. He was very vague with his initial conversation with his dad. He then called Mila, again, still utilizing that device which rerouted the call through the victim's phones, to tell her the same thing. Once the calls were done, Josh told Wade that he was going to call the police to have them come and arrest him. The first responding officer was Sergeant Angela Fleming, who was a longtime friend of Mila's. Angela Fleming is also related to Miguel Fleming, who was one of the detectives on Wade's case for the Cape Coral Police Department and was in the Navy with Mila. Josh called the cops and then left. While Wade was waiting for the cops to arrive so that he could take the fall, he had a change of heart. Wade got an opportunity to escape through the back door of the warehouse. He ran out the door and hid in the bushes and trees behind the warehouse for a while. Once the cops left, Wade found a house across the street that seemed abandoned that he was able to break in through the back window. He said he stayed in that house for a few hours, mid-afternoon till later that night, while he figured out his next steps. He needed a place to be safe and think about what he could do. Later that night, he called his biological dad and he told him he did something bad and needed help. He then gave him more information about the murders because Wade was ready to go to jail and realized that this was his only option to keep his loved ones safe. His biological dad said he would send him an Uber, but instead called the cops, which Wade knew he would. The marshals after to arrest Wade, and he was taken to jail. 2 days after being in jail, Wade completed a video visitation, including where Diane's body was, so that it could be taken back to her family. Wade was forced into confession as he was terrified that his loved ones would be hurt. He knew if he told his biological dad that it would get back to Eric and the entire organization, showing that he upheld his side of the deal. 4 days after being in jail, Wade then confessed to the detectives for the murder, still concerned about his family's safety, and was hoping that this would get into the news, so again, Eric and the organization would see that he upheld his side of the deal. After 8 days in jail, it had still not broken on the news. Wade then took measures into his own hands and called Mila because he knew she would be working with the reporters. He confesses to the murders because he knew Mila would tell the reporters and it would get attention from media. Again, this would draw attention so that Wade could ensure that it got back to Eric and the organization, that he was confessing, upholding his end of the deal so that his loved ones would be kept safe. Less than a month after Wade was incarcerated, specifically on December 3rd, 2019, Wade's adoptive parents' house in Tennessee was mysteriously burned down, and Wade knew this was Eric and the organization attempting to kill them. That's when Wade decided he needed to retract his story because he realized the organization would still try to kill his loved ones. It took him some time to come out because he was hoping to not have a public defender and wanted to do it the right way with someone who would understand and be willing to stand up for him. Over time, he realized he would not get that and decided he needed to contact news to get his story out and retract his admission of guilt.
Okay. So that is now his news story. Bits, thanks for coming in, hitting the thumbs up. That's now his new story. So we're gonna go to a phone call. Yeah, I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing this all night. So we're gonna go to a phone call. And the story's getting ready to, so we've heard him actually state that, yes, you know, he did the killings to his dad, blah, blah, blah. But now we are going to go to the twist that really didn't shock me. I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of had this idea. All right. So Wade has now got not only women, but he also has a man. And I will show you what the man looks like. This man right here, he evidently, I don't know what my dog's barking about, but this man right here evidently is always in the kiosk looking for men in prison. I'm not sure why, but this, I found this, his name and everything from a guy that was also approached by him not too long ago when he was in jail, I think 2 years ago when he was in jail. This is a gay man and he approaches men that are in prison. Okay, so this is what he looks like. And he's 53 years old, I believe. And we are going to listen to a phone call. Yes, the man's already been guilty. Yes. We went through that all back at the first. You'll have to rewind. But yes, he has been found guilty in a court of law, and they're deciding August the 27th whether he gets death row or not. That's what this is about. But he has changed his story to a whole fiction novel that we got, you know, X trafficking, drugs trafficking, and all this other stuff, and that he didn't do none of it. He didn't do not a damn thing. he's had since 2019. That's what made me do this, Navy, because I just had that gut feeling. Since 2000. Oh, Lordy, here we go, ladies. Just, grab your coffee, grab your snack, because we're going for a ride. Okay, so another Scott Peterson. Well, no, because Scott, he red-rummed his wife and unborn son. This one actually did that to two different women for no reason whatsoever. None, zero, zilch, nothing. So, yeah, grab your barf bags, because this is going to get intense on this phone call. And I also want to express that when we listen to this phone call, I'm going to let you listen to phone call with women and let you decide as to, is he more for men? And is that why he, murdered these women? Because he'll be looking him up. Oh, this man will be looking Ernie up. I'm telling you, he's on that kiosk thing or whatever, looking for men all the time. And he got one. It's Wade. Get your seatbelts on, because we're going for a ride. I'm trying not to laugh because it's really not funny, but yes, the kiosk. Okay, so anyway, this is the man that goes to every inmate that is white, that's good looking, that it don't matter the crime, but he's always trying to get them. Okay, so he finally got Mr. Wade here. I just wanted to show you a picture of him, but on the phone, this man sounds like he's 80. So but this is the man. He used to be a bartender in Naples, Florida. I don't know what he does now, but that's what he used to do. Yes, the crazy YouTube train has arrived. Get on the train. Put your seatbelts on, because we're rolling down the tracks in about 2 minutes. Okay. This is going to take a turn for the crazy train, I promise. All right, so I wanted to show you, because I like to see what people look like. Yes, ma'am, you got it. I like to see what people look like. I like to see who's talking to who, so I'm nosy like that. So I had to go find this guy. So there's the guy, okay? Now, we are going to go to the phone calls. Oh, buckle up. Buckle.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
Not to let me. Listen, doctor.
Wait, hold on. Let me turn the phone up. I can't really hear you.
Oh, okay.
Let me cover my other ear. They got the damn TV in here turned up loud.
I'm sorry, Dave.
What happened?
I'm just not being sick, and then they come to days, but I'm.
Hold on 1 second. We got to go.
In the shower, so I can I can call you back.
Can you tell me something that? Right here?
Yeah. What time is a good time for you?
Can you shower at my house right now?
Huh?
So can you shower at my house?
I think I need to. I think we both need to.
You fucking your whole body would be fucking turned. I can't please go out the shower. How you doing, baby? Hey,
I'm doing good. It's been okay. Sometimes I go in and out. When I think about you, though, it makes everything a lot better. But
thank you. But
yeah.
You're allowed to tell me when you're having a shitty fucking day, brother. Okay?
Yeah. Sometimes I do. Sometimes today was okay. Honestly, when I exercise and I work out, of course I feel better. I get everything flowing a little bit. And actually, I just got done working out 10 minutes ago, and then I was thinking of you, and I was like, okay, I have to call him. I want to call him so bad and hear his voice. So I did. Yeah, no, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, no problem. No, thank you. We're getting married, baby.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Fuck everybody else in the world, dude.
Hey, listen, are you still feeling sick or what? What's going on?
Yeah, it's coming and going, and then today's just not a good day right now.
I understand. Yeah.
I love doing laundry for some reason.
Doing laundry?
Yeah, I love laundry. Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
Joey, can I tell you something? That's really good because when I get out there, I hate laundry. I'm not a big laundry fan, like, of doing it.
And you know what? And you're especially going to be like, hey, I know you worked off 18 outfits, but that's all I got.
Oh, man. Yeah, but, no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No. Nothing.
Oh, listen, babe, I turned in my my form for my pizza, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta put my name right in the books.
Yeah, whenever you can. To be honest with you, they don't. I don't think they take it out today, but it's better to do it so that they, you know what I mean. Yeah. But I already turned in the form. I just wanted to let you know. And
what's the website I put in the show?
It's hold on.
I've done it before, but I just can't think of it.
It's Connect Network.
Yeah,
Connect, and then you might need my. I think I sent it to you on the message, one of our messages, like my ID number. But you could probably, I'm sure you can look that up. And see. That's not very hard to find out. Hey, and did you read my message where I told you that I wrote the chaplain, right? I told you I'm serious. You asked me, am I serious, Joey? Yes, baby, I'm serious. You asked me if I'm serious. Yes. You know what I was scared of? I was scared that maybe you were just out having so many drinks and such a good time that you were feeling. You know what I mean? Like maybe you wanted to, but then.
Dude, I'm sorry. It's so fucking stupid and weird, but I'm in love with you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, man.
I don't give a fuck either. I give a fuck that you're in love with me, but I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it.
And how it happened and whatever the fuck. I don't care.
And listen, you know, like, okay, like, this is what I was going to tell you. Okay, hold on. All the friends that I have, like, on the outside and stuff like that, down in the Keys and here and other places, like, some of them know that, like, you know, that you know who I am. You know what I mean? Like, the real me.
Yeah.
Not all of them do, but some of them do, and really, it's, you know, they honestly, Joey, they don't judge me, you know, and they never really, they never did, man. They never did.
That's called real friends. So.
That's called a real friend, you know? Like, that's called a real friend. God, I'm trying to listen to you. We got this guy in here in our dorm that's fucking. There's always that one guy that yells like. You heard him, right? So listen, and I'm not Dave, and I'm not being like racist or anything when I say this, but it's always a black guy. Top of there, you wrong.
If it was me, I'd be like, stick your dick in his mouth. See, that'll show that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm sorry that you're feeling bad. I really am, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're feeling bad. I hate it.
Probably tomorrow it will be good to like probably like today. I love doing laundry, but I'm gonna watch that do laundry.
You love doing that.
I just
What's your favorite laundry detergent?
I like Cure the side window thing.
Okay.
But I put all the shit on that. Especially with my job, I put like stuff on, like the little spots.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
But I think in the future, I'm pretty sure it's called what's the stuff called? You coming right now? Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, listen, you know what you told me that really turned me on and makes me. All right, listen. When you told me on one of our messages, you said that that you haven't. When I told you that I wanted to fuck your face and wanted you to swallow me, that you haven't done that in a long time. And
I don't think that's the one. So.
Yeah. You told me. I know. And that I like that, and I really want you to do that for me, really badly. And yeah, fucking right. And it kind of drives me a little crazy that I'm gonna be in here for a little bit longer and can't do that. But
okay.
hold on one second, Joey. Go ahead. Sorry, somebody was asking me if they could go in the shower. Yeah.
You tell me that for $1.
Huh?
You tell me that for $1.
For $1?
So babe, I've never done this. Like,
yeah.
But can't we start like maybe whatever in a few weeks or something? Not today or something. But can we start like video chatting and stuff?
Can we start video chatting?
Yeah. Is
that what you said?
Right? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, of course we can. Remember, I have to. Of course, I'm going to be in here for a long time, so we're supposed to, you know. I can. Yeah, listen. At the end of this month, I'm going to be able to change my visitation list, and that's when I can put you on there and then turn it in, and then it should take like a couple days, and then you'll be approved, and then you can set it up online for us. Yeah, absolutely. Of course we're going to do it. You don't even have to do it. That was silly that you asked me that. Of course we're going to.
I know, but I know it's just like, come on, I'm not feeling that very good right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you come in and you connect here and everything right now, because I'm sorry, I have some cash in the bank, but if not, I gotta go get it. Hold on.
Okay, babe. Yeah, that's fine. Take your time.
I can do it. I just like right now. I'm feeling better. Like I'm not leaving bed right now. So like,
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
So I want you to have pizza. I want you to have everything else.
Okay, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
I love you, man.
I love you too, Joey. Very much.
I really do.
I love you too so much.
Bottom of my fucking heart, okay?
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go back to bed, and I get so hard, so I'm gonna walk off first. Are you? And then I'm gonna go to bed.
Hey, Joey, guess what?
My big so fucking hard.
And guess what, Joey? We're getting married. We're getting married.
I know. Yep.
I love you too.
I love you. All right, baby. You have a good night. Call me later if you can, okay?
Okay, Joey.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye. Hi, Joey.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm wiping the table. I just had dinner and I'm about to head to bed by myself.
By yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry. Let's finish where we left off at. What were you saying before?
Regarding?
Yeah, you're mad at me, right? I guess.
Mm-hmm. You were also me about. I thought he was Billy the whole time. I talked to him once in the past 3 weeks and probably a day and a half. I'm doing that deal. I'm like, well, that's good.
Well, listen, that's what his girl told everybody. His girl told everybody that he got out of here and he went home and his girl tried to give him some pussy and he didn't want any pussy. He told her he didn't want to be with her and that he had some guy he was going to talk to, which is you. And then apparently you came and picked him up or something like that. That's what his wife is telling everyone.
He got out. I can tell you, like, gangsters. I look at when people get arrested or released.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get arrested. Like, dude, who the fuck are you? Like, he's all hip hop and shit. I'm like, dude, whatever, a gangster shit. And then today he's like, hi, this is real. But, Dave, you know the part that hurts me?
No, listen. If we're gonna talk about what hurts somebody, then I think that I deserve to go first because you, Joey, have been doing so much shit to me, hurting my fucking heart, breaking me down, trying to give me a little bit of glimmer of hope when you come back around, and then you delete me, and then you re-add me, then you delete me, and then you say you're gonna delete me again. What the fuck, man?
I'm not perfect, but regarding the situation, what we're talking about, what happened right now.
Okay.
Like we'll cover that, dude. And I've apologized before, and we can. The second we finish discussing this, and please don't get excited.
Me too. I'm having a pretty good day too.
Rather than the bullshit, because I give a fuck about you. I'm still here. It's still a good day. But dude, all the shit that I see on the news, every article I see, I'm like, no, believe me. You hear some shit from a crack fucking whore about some guy that has no fucking teeth. I saw his mugshot. I hit him up. I told you.
That's what I was telling you.
I know, and you told me that. But the only reason I see that he has no teeth is because you told me that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I saw his mugshot. He was suffering. I thought he was so cute. He's got beautiful fucking eyes. He's got nice hair. And that was it. But it was like, but today, like the confident motherfucker, and I like that for some reason, through all this, I find you more human than I have found you yet. Like, and just not human out of your feet or anything, but the real. But it's like he called me Joey. I'm like, hey, he's like, look, I know one Will in the city. I know one person in the city named Will. I knew it wasn't him. He's literally my arch enemy. I have one arch enemy in the city, and that's him. And I was like, well, I know it's not the Will that I fucking hate, so I don't know who the fuck Will is.
Yeah.
It's Will.
Yeah.
We talked in jail. I'm like, I didn't talk to anybody in jail named Will. So I'm like,
hey, Joey, listen, and I want to tell you something too. You don't have to ask me to be engaged with you to make me feel good or something because I'm in a bad situation. I don't need for you to be perfect. I mean, look at me, Joey. I'm far from perfect, you know, like, but I don't know, man.
Wait. Let's please, I don't know what we're not.
Maybe.
Now.
Yeah, we're gonna be able. Hey, you know we're gonna be able to FaceTime soon, right?
That's the thing. And like, dude.
Yeah.
I've had like phones for whatever years. I've never from my phone to somebody in video. I literally have never. So, dude, I want to know. No, but seriously, before we move on, and I've been disrespectful with you. I've been upset with you. I've doubted myself. I've doubted you.
Yeah.
I think when I come back, I apologize.
You do. You do.
Yeah.
But Joey, but I appreciate you apologizing. But at the same time, do you think that it's fair, Joey, for you to delete me and re-add me and delete me and re-add me? Like, how is that? Go ahead.
No, I don't think it's fair. But Wade, all I'm asking is if we give you 15 more seconds squashing what the fuck happened tonight, and then move on. I was like, I don't know who the fuck Will was. Like, I literally was like, Will. I'm like, oh,
hey, baby, can I tell you something, too? I wanted you to do? I want you to, I think you need to probably call and try to get your money back for the care pack that you sent me because I didn't get it. So I don't know if they took your money.
The one I sent you a picture about? Because I send you a screenshot every time I sent you one.
No, I don't have a screenshot. But I'm just saying, you said you sent me a care pack. When this Friday came, this last Friday, I didn't get it. So I don't know if they took your money and didn't give it to me or.
Well, I will look back at that and check it out. But
yeah.
And Wade.
Listen, I don't need you to be perfect, Joey. You understand that? I mean, I don't.
Yes, boo. But just imagine you heard a story from a crack whore today.
Yeah, I did.
You went off on me. No, allow me to speak, please.
Yeah.
What do you think my mind fucking wanders, dude?
Yeah,
I'm not fucking in there. You're like the hottest motherfucker in the world. You give it the fuck, but come on, man. It's like.
Yeah. All right. Fine. You know what? Listen, Joey. I wasn't trying to win and make you lose, like in the argument. Like that's not. I want us to both be doing good and on the same page, and just for us to be happy together. Like that's it. But it just kind of. I've been going through a lot where like I kind of felt like maybe you were playing around with me a little bit because like deleting me, re-adding me, and then like things like that. Like I just felt like maybe I felt like, Joey. I felt like maybe I said this to myself. Maybe Joey's just not serious, and maybe I should just move on. And next time he deletes me, just not try to call him again. If that's what he wants.
If you feel that way, I would completely understand it. But at times too, you know what, brother?
Yeah.
When I want to fucking talk to you, when I'm feeling depressed, when I'm feeling insecure about you, I do not have the option to fucking contact you and talk to you at that moment. I've tried to just explain this. There's not a goddamn news story out there. Like I'm not talking about the bad shit, but there's not a thing on Facebook. There's not a thing wherever where it's like you even dated a man, or it's like, dude. So it's like literally, you believe a crack whore over me?
Yeah, and I shouldn't do that. That I shouldn't do.
No, it's okay. I've gone on.
So I apologize for that. I'm wrong for that. That I'm wrong for. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Wait. I give a fuck
I love
about
you.
you.
I'm sorry.
I give a fuck about you. Thank you. You ever said
you
that?
Still love me?
Yeah, of course I do, dude. But it's like,
okay.
I one day I would love to fucking marry you.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't. We're still getting to know each other, and it's like, I would like. How about we start building some steps or something? How about let's set a goal today, the 18th or 19th?
Okay.
By the end of March,
Okay.
And I literally, I might need help from my friends. And so something like that. I'm gonna start video chatting with you.
Okay. Listen, and I'm gonna turn the paper in on the 24th, and then it'll probably take a couple days for you to get approved, and then we'll be able to you'll be able to see me. You know, we'll be able to video chat, which is gonna be lovely. I'm fucking looking forward to it so much.
But literally, I've had smartphones for I don't know how many fucking years.
Yeah.
I've walked around people that were on the heaven FaceTime and stuff. I've never video chatted with anybody in my fucking life. But before it happens,
I'll be the first.
I'm going to
one,
the friends to be near me.
All right. Hey, guess what, Joey? You know how? Well, since I can't have you as my bartender, we have a bartender in here. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're feeling good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
All right.
I want to go away, but brother, I don't want dude, and
listen, man. I got to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I want.
Okay, I don't know if any of you heard that, but he said that he had a bartender, because see, the guy that I just showed you used to be a bartender. And so he said, I have a bartender in here, meaning Wade is snitching that they're making mooch in, or hooch or whatever. Wade is snitching that they're making that shit, and he's actually tipsy right now, right? It's crazy. I thought the same exact thing, Navy Mom, when I started researching this last night. I was like, oh, wow. So much similarities there, I thought the same thing. But yeah, it gets even better. It gets even better because that's why I stopped the interview with the girlfriend, because I wanted to come and show you the calls so you would believe me. Then we're going to go back to the girlfriend and see what she had to say about him and his sexuality. Yeah, they say he got jumped by 3 guys. They say, now the story goes, that he was messing with someone in there, and the people that was covering for him and stuff found out about it, didn't like it, and beat his teeth in. That's what has been said, but I don't know if that's factual or not. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
You in my life for as long as I can possibly fucking manage to have you, but sometimes that's really, really stressful because when I lose you, it's like, holy shit, I just lost him again. And then like the other day, we were locked down for 2 days, and I couldn't even get on the kiosk, and I get on, and I'm like, oh, he's not even on there anymore.
Right, but do you think I know that? No, because the last one I sent you was like, brother, can we just move on and get past it? I apologize. And then I'm here for 2 days. So I get frustrated, man.
Well, hold on, man. Sometimes there's things that I can't control in here.
Well, exactly, honey. And I don't. The thing part is, do you think if you can't contact me, do you think I fucking know that? No. So
Yeah, that's true.
My mind races at times too. I have gals, of course I do, but come on, man, it's like
I know.
the situation.
But I don't want you to have doubts. What do I have to do? I'm trying to make our relationship. Okay.
I've done everything I can.
Oh wait, listen, babe. I wanted to tell you. Hold on. If you call and check on that care pack though, and this is the last thing I'll say about this. I might get it this Friday. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So don't like.
I'm back with those screenshots. It's not that like just. How about this?
Send me a screenshot so I know.
Okay. I think I sent you one. I'm not real sure, dude. It's like we haven't getting along for about a week and a half. If not, send me another fucking order exactly what you want this week. I know certain things you like, but some and like. And
wait, you want me to send you another order?
Yeah, send me another order. I'll send you another.
Are you sure? Listen, if I do this, are you gonna hold this against me?
No.
I don't need that. All right. Okay.
Stop. Please stop. Okay.
Okay, baby. All right.
I'm not putting up with this bullshit anymore.
Okay.
Sorry, if I'm not perfect all the time, I'm sorry.
No, I know. I'm not.
When I want to text you, when I want to call you, when I need you, when I'm feeling insecure,
when you need to talk to me.
There's no way for me to fucking contact you. So give
that
me
fucking sucks. I know. Tell me about it. I know.
Okay?
I know, Joey.
Like, and then when I'm working and I see you call like 5 or 6 times and like or whatever, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm fucking making a living.
No. The only reason, listen, I don't expect you to answer like when you're at work. The only reason I did is because like the kiosk was down, so I wasn't able to get on there and check, and I couldn't remember if you were working that day or not. I didn't know if you were at the house or
Exactly. But, and the only reason it's awkward is because I'm not in there next to you, and you're not outside here, so we can communicate. But Jesus, man, you have no idea the fucking stress level I go through with my job, my life, and everything.
Yeah.
If I fuck up, I swear to God, and you can comment on this, I'll fucking send you to Judge Judy and call your ass out and just be like, so you're doing it for nothing but to prove you were right for this stupid shit. She's like, you're an asshole. Every time I apologize to you.
Okay, I apologize too. It's okay.
Okay. But just
did we just get over our first argument? Was that our first legit argument as a couple?
No, I think
I guess so.
That's our first fight, I would say.
First fight, yeah.
And not a first fist fight, because I ain't going to survive that one. You might as well take a big fight, because I'm not freaking out.
Listen, when I get out of here, if we ever fight, I'm going to pick you up, put you on your back, and take you down. That's all I'm going to do. Or I'm just going to grab you and roll over like a little teddy bear, and then let you just drill my ass. One of the two.
How about you? 6'4", 10 down, hot.
Okay, hold up. I have to take a breather for a minute. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, I would have put Wade as a top, but evidently he's versatile. Do we need to re-listen to that again? Because I had to listen to it a couple of times to actually make sure I was hearing it correctly. Because I thought my ears were deceiving me, like Ernie tells me all the time. Your ears and your eyes deceive you, people. So get on the train, get on the crazy train, Minnie, because Betty's going to be covering this story. Oh yes. Get on the crazy train. Oh, it's got so many twists and turns. It's very interesting. Well, we got to hear it one more time because I got to make sure that is, I got PTS and everything from Ernie, but I got to make sure I heard that correct. That it's either or. Okay. Shit. I can't.
So there's not a first fist fight because I ain't going to survive that one.
Listen, when I get out of here, if we ever fight, I'm going to pick you up, put you on your back, and take you down. That's all I'm going to do. Or I'm just going to grab you and roll over like a little teddy bear, and then let you just drill my ass. One of the two.
How about you? 6'4", 10 down, hottest on the fucking world. Carry around in baby Bjorn.
That sounds nice. That sounds really good. Yeah. How about that?
So that's why he looks like one.
Hey, listen, Joey. So listen, what are you sending me on my pictures on the kiosk? What are you sending me?
Oh,
you have 1 minute remaining.
I think sure the bar was at, and the details to say where the fuck I was.
Oh, okay.
It shows you what.
Well, listen, send me the screenshot also of the pack. And then I need you to do me a big favor. I need you to send me like 1, maybe 2 pictures of you.
Yeah, Mark.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough. It's not fair.
Hey, we got 14 seconds.
Okay, baby.
First off, just tell me what you really want in a care package.
Can I just tell you? Just order me a bunch of sweets. Nothing but sweets.
Boo, and I know, but just allow me. We have 10 seconds left. Just tell me what the fuck you want. Justin, for some reason, if I got upset or didn't hit, then I'm a tech fucking charge. Like, dude, get fucking to know me. And if I didn't, I'll send it tomorrow. And if you don't get it this week, I'm sorry. But
it's fine. It's okay. Don't be sorry. Fuck.
The last one I was talking about, I didn't get it in order, but like I thought I always send you a screenshot if I send you something. So.
Thank you for using GTL.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like.
So there is that. Okay. Now we are going to go back to the girlfriend because she talks about Wade with men and she talks about how he also has an incurable disease. So that's why I bounce back and forth.
Hey,
No worries.
knock it off. Everyone's like, you're so obsessed with him, like he broke your heart, but it's not him. It's the whole justice system. I could care less about him. It's the fact that this police officer didn't help me. And they got DNA from him. They got a statement from him. This officer, you know, had everything. And even in his report, he wrote that I had ligature marks on my arms. I had bite marks on my face, handprints around my neck. And then in the same report, he put that he didn't have enough evidence to arrest him.
Was that because you called Wade?
I think that's part of the reason is he's like, oh, well, you must not be afraid of him. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, I still would like to press charges. And he was like, well, I interviewed him and he said you were into that kind of thing. You were into BDSM. And I was like, there's a difference between that and what he did to my face. He sold my phone. He, you know, like, I love getting my phone sold and my face bashed in. Like, that's exactly what I love.
Think, and this is not me judging, I'm just saying that the world has all kind of ideas. Do you think it was because of your physical appearance, like tattoos and stuff, that he just automatically assumed that you were into that sort of thing, the detective?
Probably. I didn't have as many tattoos, but yeah, I mean, I had tattoos and like more of an alternative look. So probably, but I mean, I called and had an internal investigation opened against the officer, and he did get in trouble. He got demoted from detective to back road patrol, and he was put on like 120 hours of leave, which is not enough to me. I don't think.
Was Wade into BDSM?
No, not with.
So he didn't like bondage or.
Not with me. We never tried that stuff. That's what a lot of people are assuming. You know, they're like, "Oh, well, you were probably into that stuff anyway." Like, he was into that, and I was like, "No."
Assault is never justified, regardless of what you're in. So that's definitely not what I'm implying. I just wanted to know, just because the public is curious about this guy who would do that. So we were just like wondering, like, okay, was there anything else he was into? So nothing weird.
No,
he didn't like to have like that.
Not. I mean, he might have with others, but with me, it was very normal.
So do you think that what made him spaz out on you was the fact that you were giving him an ultimatum?
I don't know what made him just snap that night. I really have no idea, because I mean, I got out of the car. I gave him the opportunity to like take my car, go to the keys. You don't need me. And still, you know, wanted me back in the car and wanted to do whatever. I honestly think the only reason he didn't kill was my entire family and my friends knew who he was. And he, you know, he was like, well, if I kill that knows who I am, I'm definitely going to get caught.
We've heard about everybody's calling her Kiosk Kristen. That's her nickname on the internet. And so there's a new character that has come into play, and this guy's name is Joey.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Joey. A lot of people are, I mean, I don't know who Joey is. I was made privy to Joey maybe like 2 days ago, so I have a lot of catching up to do. But I did hear a conversation between Wade and Joey where they're discussing marriage, and the conversation gets like really like sexually explicit. And Wade tells Joey that he's always been into guys and stuff, and that the people who actually know him knows this and is very cool with him. So were you aware that Wade was into man booty and dingling?
Not outright. So when we were together, he wanted me to shave the side of my head, and he would constantly try to do butt stuff, and I was not about it. So that should have keyed me in, but after
he wanted you to do butt stuff to you or to him?
to me. After he was with that girl in the Keys, he dated my friend's friend, Chris, a guy, and posted pictures together. You know, they were not hiding it at all. And that guy, Chris, reached out to me, and we, you know, we're friends on Facebook. We became friends. And I straight up asked him, I was like, can you just tell me right now, do you guys like have sex? And he's like, yeah, we're dating. Like, that's what we do. And I was like, okay, but like, do you have sex with him? And he was like, yeah. And I was
no details. Like, let me figure this out. Like, I hear you.
Just making sure. So you wanted to know basically who was doing the. Because I was like, this dude's like huge. Like, he's a big guy. Like, tell me the truth. Is he like?
You mean big guy as far as like?
He's 6 foot. You know,
you don't mean like his anatomy down there. You mean like he's just a big guy. So you want to know if this big guy was doing the bending over. Yeah, exactly. Because the guy he was dating is prettier than I am. Like, he's this little tiny petite blonde guy. And you know, I've never been quiet about it. I never said the guy's name,
But I was always like, Wade dated a man after Courtney. Like, he was not private about it.
You
And
spoke
all
to
these
this guy.
Yeah. All these fangirls are like, no, they weren't dating. He would never. And then the calls came out with Joey, and I was like, what was that?
Told
Like,
you. So you said this guy, Chris, did he confirm who was doing what to who?
yeah, he said that they would both,
They were to each other.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you know this Joey? Because I don't know anything about Joey. Do you know how old Joey is or anything?
So someone posted a picture of him recently. I can send it to you. He is supposedly like 55-ish. Apparently he like finds cute guys in prison and jail and reaches out to them.
So they didn't know each other outside of like.
Not that I know of. No.
Wow. So basically, not only is it Kiosk Kristen, it's Kiosk Joey as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna make t-shirts.
Wow. That is crazy. Like wow. So did that alarm you after you found out that Wade was like bisexual? That because you were intimate with him, a lot of women, it's a concern for them to be with like a bisexual guy because they're concerned about their health. They're like, oh, like especially he's on drugs. Like, what is he doing? He's on meth.
Not so much the gay aspect as the drug aspect. His dad told me that he had a couple STDs, so I had to go get checked and stuff. And then his baby mama confirmed some of them. So
how many kids does Wade have?
So biologically, he only has one, as far as I know. He has a son with his baby mama that I speak to. He thought he had two, but she had a paternity test done like a year or two ago, and that confirmed that the girl was not his. So it's just the boy. There's been a couple of women that have come out and been like, "Oh, he's the father of my child too," but all the like documents that they've provided are very obviously like Photoshop.
Right. So were the STDs, I know because of HIPAA laws and everything, you can't share that. Were the STDs anything that was curable, or were some of them like not curable?
Both of them are not curable. Both of them are lifelong, but I think you can take meds to help both of them.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the ones that I know of that's not curable.
One of them is drug related, like you get it from.
Oh, okay. So like, okay, we're thinking, of course I'm not asking you to confirm. I'm just talking to my audience right now. So like hepatitis, herpes.
Like the letters. Yeah. So.
Wow. What kind of legal action are you taking against law enforcement and that sort of thing?
So I'm trying to find a lawyer first to go after the police department, but I'm having a hard time because no one wants to go after the police department. So I've been trying to find a lawyer. I've been trying to raise a little bit of money to maybe like show a lawyer that I have some money. But lots of people have been saying, if you find one, they'll do it because they know that they can get a good chunk.
Any attorneys in the Florida area, I'm going to leave all of Kelly Matthews' information down in the description box. I'm going to link put her cash app in this video. This woman's a hard worker and she's really like just struggling to make it. She's whatever you can just send it to her. And yeah, if some lawyers want to do even pro bono work, or if they're just interested in taking on the case because they know that they can benefit from it as well, hey, as long as it helps Kelly, contact Kelly and we'll see what happens. Anything else coming up as far as you telling your story, like documentaries? Are you putting any together any projects to get the word out about what happened to you? Because I feel like if people would just listen to you, then there would be like 2 women still alive right now. Because if you've been convicted for what happened to you, that's not something that's small, like kidnapping, assault. He would have still been in jail. Like those women would have still been alive. Yeah,
I agree. I want to write a book for battered women, but I'm also supposed to be working on a documentary with Bunny, Jelly Roll's wife. So she's supposed to be working with myself and the other victims, all of his victims, including the family of the 2 women who died.
So when you say other victims, we know about the 2 women who passed away, but what other victims? So there's other women who went through the same thing as you that he did this to?
His baby mama was put in the hospital a couple times. Mila, the woman that was on the West Coast with him. Mm-hmm. Chris, the man that he dated, he tried to stab him. Yeah, so there's a lot of us that are going to be in this documentary.
Have you heard of any more men besides Chris?
No, and Joey.
And Joey. So what did Joey look like when you saw him?
Like he sounds like an old Italian man.
So Chris looks better than Joey?
Oh yeah, Chris is adorable.
Okay, so it seems like you have a good rapport with Chris as well as Wade's child.
Yeah.
Oh, did Wade ever talk about his like adopted family when he was with you?
Not really. He told me he was adopted and he had gotten a letter from his adoptive dad talking about his daughter, and I think he had like his birth certificate and stuff in there, but that's it. Like he never told me.
You said talking about his daughter?
Yeah, his dad was talking about Wade's daughter, which we later found out was not actually his daughter.
Oh, okay.
But didn't know he had kids, and I was like, "Who's this? Like,
Mhm.
you have a kid?" And he was like, "Oh no, it's not mine. Like, it's my friend's kid or whatever."
So do you think that he had like a good childhood from whatever you've heard?
Absolutely, they are wealthy, and they sent him to college, and he had good schooling and doctors, and there was no reason for him to be this way.
Hmm. Now, I do know that his father mentioned that his mother had like some mental health issues and stuff like that. Can't believe that his parents is only like a couple years older than me. That's like so wild.
Oh yeah.
But like when I was like, I'm like, wow, they're like literally only like 3 or 4 years older than me. That's crazy. So but has he ever met his biological mom?
Yeah, no, I think they probably have hung out a few times because he was saying that he would like go party with her sometimes.
Kelly, before we end, is there anything that you want to say to the public, whether it's just from your experience or warning or things that you want people to know based on things that people have been saying about you in the media? What do you want the world to know? Because a lot of people are going to see this.
Listen to your gut and your friends and your family. Your heart is not always right. And I don't know. All those women simping over him, it's disgusting, but we'll find out the verdict on the 27th, and I cannot wait.
Are you hoping for?
Yes.
You're hoping for the unaliving.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. What do you have to say to these people that's like just meeting him? Like, do you think that he's just using them for money and conversation so he won't be lonely? What do you think of this?
Absolutely. I think that I don't know if you've seen his Fundly. It's like $67,000. He has all this money and all these women all over him. And if any of them think that they're his like one and only, they are so very wrong. That's all he wants. He wants someone to talk to because he's lonely. And also, they're putting money on his books. He can go buy food. He can go.
EDA. They're going to August the 27th determine by a judge whether or not he gets the death penalty or not. He wanted it to be determined by a judge.
By whatever in there. But
do you think that Wade loves anyone?
Not at all. I think he's like a textbook narcissist.
Wow. Do you think that Wade's going to marry Joey?
I don't even know if they're still together, but that would actually be like an amazing plot twist to this whole story.
Oh, so right now you're looking for legal representation for the injustice that has been done to you. You're working on a documentary with, now who are the people I'm not familiar with? You said Jelly Bean and his wife. I'm not familiar with them.
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a country singer. And he works a lot with like Post Malone and MGK and stuff.
Okay.
Wife, she has her own podcast called Dumb Blonde, and she's really great. She was a victim of domestic violence also. So she reached out to me, and because everyone started tagging her in my videos. So finally she reached out, and she's just super sweet. She's a really, really nice person.
Okay. I know that you have had a long day, so I'm not going to keep you. I would love to invite you back on my channel, maybe after the verdict, if you would so graciously.
So there is that. And, we're going to do a part 2 tomorrow. I just wanted to kind of get it in there, let you guys have the gist of it, what actually happened. Yeah, he was convicted. He can profit from his crimes. The judge did not put a thing on him like they did with Alex. They said that he couldn't profit off any of the crimes. But yes, this one can. There was not a judge order that he cannot profit off the crimes. So that is exactly what he is doing. Like I said, when I come back tomorrow, we go over it tomorrow. It's going to get more detailed, more in depth, and you're going to really see that this is a whole game to him on, how much money can he get? How much wool can he pull over people's eyes? And how much more master manipulation can he have? You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go down this together. Get on this crazy train with me, because every day at noon, I will be here every day at noon, and we are going down this crazy train together. If you guys do come up with more information that you would like for me to talk about on this, more than, just send it to me through my email. Some of you are on my Discord. There's just so much that's going to go into this. And like I said, I just started, you know, so, you know, let's see. Nope. Wade can't profit, son of Sam's laws. In 2007, a Florida appeals court said a convicted serial murderer's property and proceeds from writing about his crimes could be seized. Yeah, but they didn't get seized. That's the whole thing. That's why when I start going over all the rest of the calls, I start going over all the rest of the stuff, you're going to see this is all about money. I mean, this guy legitimately got on the phone and even was talking to the news and told them that, you know, he would talk to whoever was going to pay him the highest amount. And she was like, we don't do that. We don't pay for stories like this, that, you know, we don't do that. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, so if the judge did not put a gag order on it and did, you know, like they did with Alex Murdaugh and said you cannot make money off of this crime, then yeah, by all means they can. They can. You know, it just depends on whether they seize it or not. Right now, they ain't seizing nothing. But August the 27th is going to determine whether or not he gets the death penalty. Now, before we leave, I'm going to read the letter that was written to the courts by some of these women that are his fan base. He even has, okay, so they also have a donation thing to where whoever donates certain amounts of money, okay, gets to get a shout out from him. If you donate $500 or more, you have to pay for the call, but Wade will then call you and personally thank you. It's kind of weird, all of these different amounts, and they even, you know, it's on this fan base, like they put all of his stuff up to where he's talking to his fans and all of this stuff, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. We're going down the crazy train. I'm telling you, I've never seen something so in my life. I really haven't. Honestly, it seems like the more crazier and weird, the more the women are crazier and weird. But this one has took a definite different toll on everything. And when they were talking about, wow, like, yeah, there's so much to this. Let me see if I can find where they wrote the judge. Okay, this is letters to spare his life. Tattooed Deadpool Killer Wade Wilson has lovesick ladies begging a judge to save his life, even though he brutally slaughtered 2 women in 2019 just for the sake of red rumming. Wilson, 30, has received nearly 4,000 messages in prison, many from misguided women who have sent him X-rated photos. According to public record, authorities had to reject 163 inappropriate photos. Now the women and other supporters have flooded the chambers of Lee County Circuit Court Judge Nicholas Thompson, begging him to spare Wilson's life, despite a jury of his peers deciding he should face the possibility of the death penalty for brutally red rumming Cape Coral women Kristine Melton, 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43. One woman even pledged her undying devotion to the sociopath killer. As someone who cares unconditionally for Wade, I have deeply reflected on the gravity of the situation and impact of your decision, the woman from Visual, California, wrote the judge. Another woman, a mother of 2, claimed that Wade is a different person when he's on medication. If you look past his tattoos to his face structure, since being in prison and medicated, he is healthier. His face is fuller compared to his booking pictures, where his face is gaunt, pale, and looks unhealthy, she wrote. It's unlikely that the letters will have any effect according to the Code of Judicial Conduct, which has been reviewed by the Post. A judge is prohibited from considering communications made by the court outside of the presence of the parties involved. Wade's crimes are particularly violent and heinous. Wilson took Melton home from a bar October 7, 2019, then strangled her and left her tied up in her home. Ruiz was reported missing mere hours later, and Wilson later told his dad that she had gotten to his car when he asked for directions. He then admitted to strangling her before throwing her out of his car, only to get back in and run her over until she looked like spaghetti. I choked her out until she couldn't breathe anymore, Wilson had told cops of one of the murders. I came across my mind to murder, just kill, kill, kill. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show this because I want to show you the women that are no longer with us due to this heinous, disgusting crime. Here's the one that he met at the bar, went home with, had sex with, and then unalived her for no reason. And here's the one that got in the car. And he ran over her 10 to 20 times until she looked like spaghetti. It was so bad that they could not identify her. This case was about killing for the sake of killing. Assistant State Attorney Andres Gardner had told the court, strangulation is the epitome of life slipping through someone's hands. Wilson was also found guilty of grand theft, burglary of dwelling, battery, and petty theft. He was seen with tattoos still clearly visible on his face, despite being granted permission to cover them, as well as get a haircut and a new suit to look presentable to jurors. So this woman right here had 2 children, and this woman right here had none. But these women could have been saved if they would have took Kelly serious. All right, so we're going to continue on this tomorrow. And just like I said, get on the crazy train. Let's see. That was an appeals court that said the proceeds could be seized. They never did profit from their writing. Yeah, but see, on this one, they haven't seized his proceeds. Yes, darkness loves company, obviously. No other way to understand it. Prayers for the family of these beautiful women. Thank you. Betty, true crime without children and drama is what you're best at, I think. And thank you, Raindrop. I appreciate that. I do like to actually do true crime and things like that if it doesn't involve children. So we're going to meet here again tomorrow at noon. I'll have it scheduled, and we'll go over some more, and we'll just keep going because there's so much more to this story, and we've got so much to cover, and I'm just now getting into it. So, in June is when he was sentenced, and then they stopped it, right. And he already wrote his book. His book is what that woman says his crime, what all happened. That's his book. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that August the 27th, he is going to be in court, and he is going to be decided then by the judge as to whether he gets the death penalty or not. I'm going to say it like this: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That's how I feel. I feel that this man is a danger to himself and others, and I feel that the death penalty is the correct thing to do. I don't think there's any rehabilitation that can be done. Drugs or not. You see people on drugs all the time. They don't go around just unaliving people. Right. Exactly. And having the chat's input and always, something to learn is it's actually using our brain, and I'm not going to be putting anything fictitious out. I'm actually doing my research so that, we can get the full story. We can get as much information as possible. I just know I've been going for 3 hours. I'm going to split some of this up into different videos because it's hard for somebody to watch 3 hours of videos. You know what I mean? But I will be back tomorrow. We've got a lot more to cover. And I thank you all for being here. You have a magical day. And just be very, very, very careful who you meet because you just never know. You just never know what somebody is capable of. You just really don't. Look at the women that have been with men for 30 years and all of a sudden they got unalived, Just be very careful, very vigilant. Watch your surroundings. Start noticing reactions of how people are acting, and start looking at those real red flags that a lot of us women, even when I was younger, I used to look past because those red flags are the ones that say, stop, take a second look, don't do this. Those are your gut feelings. And that is God telling you, this is the wrong person for you. Until next time, this has been Betty Washam Investigates. I love y'all, and I'm out.
You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. So put your hands up to the sky and live your best life, alright. Don't just let it go by, just try, oh my. Got only one life, got only this time. We gonna get it right. You gotta let go of those who don't belong in your tribe. So cut the bad out of your life. Yeah, do it one time. You gotta work till you're winning. Yeah, take control of the system. When you invest, it's addicting. No time to rest, let's go get it. Not gonna stop till I'm finished. Not gonna drop to my limits. Deep in my chest, I'm inhaling. Believing, testing, and failing. You gotta flip everything in your mind. Take the limiting thoughts and turn them into your why. Prove to yourself you're worth it. You deserve it. Push past all the hurt and find your purpose. You gotta take control.